Philadelphia.
Yes, good Thursday morning to you, Philadelphia. Manager Salciunas alongside my man, John Kincade. And Johnny, we have history to react to this morning because Jalen Hurts found a way to say something else that made me say, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Just kidding. We'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of that.
Real history. Congratulations.
He made me smile yesterday, but somebody else made me smile much more.
And that was Cristopher Sanchez, man. Cristopher Sanchez, we talked about it yesterday morning. If he had pitched 4 shutout innings, he would set the franchise record for scoreless innings, a consecutive scoreless inning streak. And then he decided to continue to do that, too, for another 3 innings. Cristopher Sanchez on the line yesterday, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. Phillies shut out and sweep the San Diego Padres yesterday, 3-0. They're now 2 games over 500, and it's great. Great win, great series win for the Phillies, but that's not the story this morning, man. What Cristopher Sanchez did and has been doing really his entire career has been such an incredible story.
You guys were not even thoughts in your dad's eyes in 1988, and I remember vividly Oral Hershiser's 59 scoreless innings. And
did you remember Grover Cleveland Alexander's too?
No, but I did do his weekly hits.
Oh, okay.
He did weekly hits with us back in the day, and it was great. He was really, really good. He was very, very good stuff.
During your fireside chats?
It was good. Now, we would do that. We didn't have apps back then.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have the apps back then, so everybody would just say, you'd say, get to your radio.
Yes.
Make sure you're listening. You had to be listening at that time. But I remember Hershiser and how often Hershiser would wiggle off the hook, but he seemed unhittable too. He would have those, he'd wiggle off, and then he'd have that just where he just appeared to be unhittable. And Cristopher Sanchez has the ability where it's almost getting like Zach Wheeler. When Zach Wheeler puts a couple guys on base, I swear I've gotten to the point where in his career as a Philly, I don't really sweat it.
Yeah.
He's got 2 guys on, 1 out. I'm not going, oh, man, this is going to turn into a 5-run inning.
Yeah, because you also see how Nola does not handle guys on base well. Luzardo with the tipping pitches fiasco last year. These 2 guys, Sanchez, Wheeler, you're like, all right.
I'll say Wheeler, I'm looking at Wheeler, and I'll go, 2 guys are on, nobody out. I'm thinking Wheeler may give up a run.
Sure.
But it's not going to turn into a 5-0 lead or whatever. I'm watching Cristopher Sanchez become somebody in Major League Baseball that I will raise my hand, and I think most should. I never thought he could.
Everyone.
I never thought he could.
Dave Dombrowski will raise his hand and say, I did not expect this.
I never thought he could be. Matt Klentak saw it. Maybe Matt Klentak saw it.
He traded Curtis Mead. I don't know if they saw this.
The Rays clearly didn't see it either, right? They traded Sanchez away.
Matt Klentak takes a ton of bullets.
As he should.
And Matt Klentak also deserves, for the ones that he gets right, deserves the credit.
Sure, he knew that the Cristopher Sanchez was going to have
the greatest
month of May.
Hey, it's more than the month of May. So Cristopher Sanchez has become one of the greatest pitchers in baseball, and now we've got 3 years of data to show it.
He has not allowed a run since his start against the San Francisco Giants, which was on April 30th, where he went 6 2/3 and allowed 2 earned runs. So he pitched very well in that game, too. In the month of May, 5 starts for Cristopher Sanchez, 39 innings pitched, 25 hits, not a single run allowed, just 3 walks while striking out 45 batters. That's unbelievable. We have the audio of how it sounded yesterday when he broke the record. Of course, he pitched 3 more innings in a big game to complete the sweep of San Diego. But here's how it sounded when he got the final out in the 4th inning to set the new record, courtesy of NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Ground ball back toward the middle. Stock to his right, has it, throws to first in time. And Cristopher Sanchez has set a new franchise record for scoreless innings by a pitcher as he passes Grover Cleveland Alexander, a record that stood 115 years. And the 29-year-old from La Romana, the Dominican Republic, has established a brand new feat.
Great job by Tom McCarthy there. McCarthy knocked that one out of the park.
And Tom again, and I always applaud it, not upstaging the moment.
Yeah, no, that was a great call by McCarthy.
Here's the best thing. He gets 4 more batters out. All right, let's just say the next 4 batters, he doesn't give up a run. All right, let's just assume that he can do that. He'll be 6th all time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing something that is ridiculous. He goes 7 more batters. He's 5th all time.
Coming up at 647.
It's unbelievable.
Where does Cristopher Sanchez stand?
I mean, it's the truth.
With
that's where he's at.
record?
I mean, and that's where he's at. I mean, that's where he's at.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
So, our first question, because look, today's a day where you just celebrate that. But if you're looking for a question to answer, we got one for you. It's 610-632-0975. Where does Cristopher Sanchez rank for you among some of the greatest stories in Philadelphia sports history? Now, caveat to this. Like, you have to have success, right? Not just like, man, this guy came from nothing and got to the NBA, right? Like, I think about a lot of process Sixers that probably have that story where they weren't supposed to make it to the NBA, but the Sixers were looking to lose. So
the Sixers were a clown show.
So the Sixers got guys.
Yes.
Now, that is not – I'm not trying to take away what getting to the NBA, to the MLB, to the NHL, and to the NFL – what that means. Like that, you are the best of the best. Even if you are a special teams player, you are the best of the best. That's how you got on a 53-man roster in the NFL. We're talking about, like, sustained success, though. Like, Cristopher Sanchez, you said it, John. Nobody expected this. Like, nobody expected this kind of performance by Cristopher Sanchez for now 3 years. And the whole storyline of Sanchez in his career makes this so incredible. The fact that he was traded – nobody talked about the Curtis Mead, Cristopher Sanchez deal. There was no MLB
there was
hot
no
stove.
even, there was no even discussion of it.
No, it was just like, all right, Phillies made another trade for a player to be named later.
I remember Googling who he was.
Yeah,
I remember the day that deal went down going, I have no idea who this player is.
Yeah, and then the Phillies didn't know what to make of him. Was he going to be a reliever? Was he going to be a starter? There was the Cristopher Sanchez versus Bailey Falter period where they were trying to figure out who could be that swing man, who could be that 4th guy in the rotation if we were to piggyback in the playoffs, which, by the way, they did that with Bailey Falter.
That versus the Padres.
Yeah, it wasn't Cristopher Sanchez. It was Bailey Falter. Like, there was a time where they were leaning Falter. There was talks about Sanchez being like an 8th inning setup guy, right? People, Ryan Madsen from the left side because of his height. Cristopher Sanchez, by the way, at one point was throwing like 93. He's now all of a sudden throwing 96, 97. I know we talk about the guns and how they're
the guns
probably not totally real, but Sanchez, I would imagine it's real, right? His height, his ability to throw, and that changeup, by the way, is one of the best pitches in baseball. So we've gone from, could this guy be a helpful piece in the bullpen, to, oh my God, this guy's going to be a year-in, year-out Cy Young candidate.
I saw some of the Major League Baseball Network pitchers talking about their, Pedro and Al Leiter and them talking about the pitchers of today. And they said, a lot of guys want to say, well, back in my day, the guys are so much better. And he goes, look, they don't believe the radar guns, but they most certainly believe these young arms.
Yeah.
And they talk about Cristopher Sanchez in, like, this guy's he's out of left field. Like, nobody saw this. And he is somebody who has worked his craft to become what he's become.
That's the big thing. He's added to his repertoire. Remember, he was really just a two-pitch pitcher to start. It was that fastball and that changeup, but he's added to his repertoire, and he's been fantastic. He's gotten stronger. Didn't he grow 5 inches?
Well, he has grown.
I think that might have just been a rezoning of the height.
Remember that? Yeah, they were rezoning things,
yes.
And all of a sudden, Cristopher Sanchez grew 5 inches, apparently.
Oh.
Unbelievable. Congratulations to him. Where does Cristopher Sanchez rank for you among some of the greatest stories in Philadelphia sports history? Obviously, success has to be a part of it. It can't just be, wow, that was a cool story.
And as much
like
as
Weston Wilson hitting a home run his first at bat, like, that doesn't do anything for me.
And as much as I have been pissed at Dave Dombrowski, again, got to be fair. Dave Dombrowski's foresight to, even this offseason, to
lock him up,
rework that deal, and to make sure you've got him nice and happy and under control, because it's a bargain.
Yeah.
It is an absolute bargain what you've got, because he could be a he could be getting the kind of money that Ohtani's getting as far as pitchers.
He could be.
It's unbelievable.
All right, we split the first segment. Phil's celebrate the record, franchise-setting record. Sanchez.
Did you say Sanchez?
I didn't mean to, and that's already
But
taken.
Now is it in your head?
That's taken.
Yeah.
He's in jail right now, but that's taken.
Is he in jail or is he out?
I don't know where Mark Sanchez is these days.
I think he's on bail.
We could maybe, you know what? The Sanchez probably should go to Cristopher Sanchez.
Don't do that to him.
All right. Eagles.
Yes.
So yesterday was the Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni press conference day. I felt so bad for Middays with Marks because typical Nick Sirianni fashion, late, right?
Oh, yeah.
And people don't realize that, sometimes it's hard to drag a segment on.
Because you're waiting.
You're keeping an eye on the producer. As Patricia's saying that he's up. Like you're trying to do the show while also trying to do the behind-the-scenes work at the same time. So Nick Sirianni finally comes on like 20 minutes later, and not a single A.J. Brown question is asked. And I'm not totally surprised because Sirianni has already spoken about A.J. Brown, but the last time he talked, they were doing the same concentrated effort to say A.J. Brown's an Eagle, right? Like both Sirianni and
nonsense.
Roseman. Yeah, they were saying AJ's an Eagle, AJ's an Eagle, AJ's an Eagle. We know that AJ won't be an Eagle soon, but nobody asked Nick Sirianni a damn question about it.
What did you think of that as the responsibility of the media?
I was surprised there wasn't a single question asked.
I'm shocked that there was not, because I do believe that is the responsibility for that to be asked, that somebody needed to ask that. Yes.
Even if it's something to the extent of we understand the ongoing situation. Are you surprised that AJ's not here?
What is What is the number one story that the fans are talking about? We talk with the fans every day. They do not.
Yeah,
the number one story is AJ Brown.
Yeah, so I was surprised.
But the thing is the questions that were asked, I did like the questions.
Yeah, sure, it was a fine press conference.
But it was more of questions of, let me ask questions of things that I'm writing about. Is the way that I sort of felt that the questions went like, let me ask questions in this press conference, or I'm writing a piece and I want you to give me some stuff on some things that I'm writing about, more than it was about here's what the fans want to hear about.
Well, Jalen Hurts spoke, though.
Mm-hmm.
And we had not gotten the Jalen Hurts discussion point on A.J. Brown. But today we do have that to react to. So we're going to play you. There was two questions back-to-back about A.J. Brown directed to Jalen Hurts. Obviously, a lot of the press conferences was Sean Mannion and the new offense and the new players, right? Like Eli Stowers and Mekhi Lemon and the excitement with these guys, Dontavian Wicks. There was a lot about Eagles football that we will get into as well. But we were all waiting, okay, will there be the A.J. Brown question thrown his way? Last week, I don't know if you guys saw it, somebody sold it to TMZ. Jalen was at some event with his wife, and somebody had to go, oh, wait, what do you think about A.J. Brown? Like, it wasn't the time or place.
Correct.
This, however, is a time and place, right? This is a place where you are going to get questions like that asked. And Jalen Hurts was very well prepared, except for the order of the question. Because Jalen Hurts, this entire, 45 seconds, played this off so cool, so professional, but then still had a Jalen moment where I wonder if this guy is actually human. Here was the back and forth with a couple members of the media with Jalen Hurts.
If AJ is traded, how would that affect the offense? How would that affect you?
Picked the right question to sip on, huh? I think for us, we're focused on learning the offense. It really doesn't change in terms of our approach to improve. There's an if. Obviously been a lingering thing, but nothing can replace all the greatness that we achieved together.
Jalen, a lot you made of your relationship with AJ in regards to his trade. Where are you two at, I guess? I know friendship and competition.
Yeah, nothing's changed since we last spoke at the end of the season. We're really good, and I saw how beautiful the pictures came out at his wedding. I'm very happy for him and his wife and his family, and it's a beautiful thing to step into covenant. So I was very excited and congratulatory towards that.
All right, my number one takeaway.
Okay.
Connor, the day you get married, I can't wait to write in your wedding card if I'm invited to the wedding because you weren't invited to mine.
Step into covenant.
Congratulations on stepping into covenant. Like Jalen, like for 40 seconds, I loved you in that clip, and then I go, "What? Who are you? What the hell? Who says that? Who says, oh man, it's a beautiful thing to step into covenant?" I digress.
Okay, that's a little. That's.
I told you, I never want to have a beer with that man. I never want to have a beer with that man.
Okay, here's what
it'd be weird.
Here's what I'm going to say: is the things that you. I'll give you a line that you love to turn on me. The things that you worry about. Like, he's a very deeply religious man. That is something that he very deeply let's just say that didn't shock me at all. The amount of time I lived in the South,
Okay.
hearing that, and him being a guy from the South, that doesn't shock me at all. Up here, it's shocking. It's shocking.
A little bit different.
It's not shocking if you would live in the South.
All right. I'm just having fun with it. But
I got you.
I got you.
I got you.
Look, so he handled it perfectly. The sipping of the water, which was
I love that.
just horrific timing, but he played it off
It was perfect.
perfectly.
It was
right?
fantastic.
The way he played it off, man, I picked a good time to take a sip of water during
was
that
awesome.
question. It was great. And then the answer was perfect, right? Like, he was prepared. He was waiting for that question, just didn't know exactly when it was coming, clearly, with the sip of water.
The sip of water was great.
But, he puts it out there perfectly. Look, I'll never forget what we accomplished. They went to 2 Super Bowls. They won a Super Bowl. And then the relationship thing, whatever. We'll find out the real story next week, I would imagine, when the story comes out. It's a reminder of how much of a shame this is. They accomplished so much, and it still was not enough for one person.
For one person.
And that's a shame.
And the one person is A.J. Brown. The one person is not Jalen Hurts. And that's the bottom line. One person is unhappy. One person is not pleased. One person's not getting their glory. One person's not getting their attention. And that's A.J. Brown. Look, and I believe also that we will find out when this story comes out that though the relationship is not the same, the relationship is not fractured to the level that many want to believe that it is.
Sure.
That it is a true wish them well. Wish them well. Go live your life. Go live your life and have a great life. No ill feelings, but we just can't work together. But just look, and as I've said before, there are people I've worked with in this industry that I absolutely, with the capital L, love. Love.
Right.
Like, love the person that they are. I would absolutely not on a daily basis want to have to work with them.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that's what we're going to find out here. These two just oil and water as far as approach. And the approach, you're going to hear from Nick Sirianni today, the approach of Jalen Hurts, extremely admirable in a lot of ways.
All right, so here's the question about Jalen Hurts and this whole A.J. Brown saga that will hopefully end soon. We'll see.
It's going to end soon.
We have a Ian Rappaport audio clip to play for you later on this hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday on the air, we were talking about, will Jalen and Nick be questioned about the A.J. Brown thing, whether or not we wanted them to hear any sort of question.
Are you glad that they were? Both of you. Are you glad? Because yesterday you guys were like...
I stand by what I say. I don't think the real story was put out there yesterday.
But that wasn't the question. Aren't you glad that they did have some interaction? Like, aren't you glad to hear it?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a fine moment. Gave us content on a Thursday morning. I guess. So. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm
no, I mean, no. You're
I'm a slut. Like,
I like it. That's
I got content Thursday morning, so it's great.
That's good. Now, I'm more talking about it is I was glad to hear it yesterday, and I was very entertained.
I don't believe that's the real story.
To hear it. No, that's not the real
I think we're going to read an article in a couple of days.
Yes.
And we are going to come away with something from it that was a lot more than what Jalen Hurts said yesterday. So, the question, who do you think will end up looking worse in this situation? When the article does come out, yesterday we got on the record, we were talking about what we think led to all this. Like, why was there such a disconnect here between these two guys? And it might have been just football, maybe. But who do you think, when we read the article, whether it's on ESPN or the Inquirer, whatever publication next week,
I'm guessing both of those will be the places that we'll hear the first stuff.
Most likely. Who's going to come out looking worse when this article drops?
Jalen Hurts will, by the faction of people who, by today's society, and it depends on what society you live in. The society of people who are willing to ignore the quitting on your teammates, the not giving full effort, the people who will say, well, he's justified in doing that, they will find a way to justify the behavior of A.J. Brown.
All right, I
So they
completely
will.
disagree.
As
Really?
do I.
Oh, as
Okay.
does Connor.
Interesting. Tell me why.
So here's why. Do you think the Philadelphia Eagles, who are great at spinning things in the positive light for PR purposes,
Oh, they are. They do a good job with it.
do you think
club.
that maybe speaking anonymously, AJ was the big problem, man, so that there's a story that pumps up Jalen Hurts because they don't want that. They do not want the public perception to be that Jalen Hurts was the bigger problem here because Jalen is still here.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you that players are being spoken to right now.
Sure.
Players on the roster are being spoken to right now. I do not believe, from what I have been able to decipher, that there are going to be players that are out there that are members of the Philadelphia Eagles right now that are going to be like, dude, that Jalen Hurts, he's a real problem.
Okay.
Because I don't believe that's how he's perceived. Now, do I believe that there are Eagles that perceive him as he's a bit too intense? He's a bit aloof? He's got personality quirks? Yes. Do I believe that they see him as in any way a big problem person? No. So I believe there's going to be a real chasm, though, in how the public takes this story.
I think A.J. Brown comes out looking so much worse in this article because I think the Eagles will make A.J. Brown look much worse.
This is
in
why
this
I'm glad
article.
we didn't talk about
So
it. 'Cause
let's
it's
talk. All
interesting.
right, then let's
it's
get
interesting.
reaction.
We're
Who-
on different sides of the fence of this. This is interesting.
Who do you think comes out looking worse when the article drops next week? 610-632-0975. You could call in. You could leave a voice
That's
memo.
interesting.
You could text into the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. Now, speaking of A.J. Brown, we're getting closer to June 1st, which means we've reached silly season when it comes to the reporting on
Here we
A.J.
go.
Brown. We have something from Ian Rappaport to play for you from the Patriots side of things, which could make things interesting. It's
Really?
Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Sanchez makes history. I'm Connor Thomas, and Christopher Sanchez set a new Phillies franchise record scoreless inning streak yesterday after throwing 7 more shutout innings in a win over the Padres. Phils won the game 3-0, sweeping the Padres in San Diego. And Sanchez went the entire month of May without allowing a run, including the record-setting performance yesterday. Here's how the end of his start sounded on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 7 shutout innings for Cristopher Sanchez. 5 consecutive starts of at least 7 shutout innings, which is also a new franchise record.
He's on a heater of all heaters right now. The Phillies are off today, but they'll start a huge 3-game series in L.A. with the Dodgers tomorrow night. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts met with media at Eagles OTAs yesterday. Of course, the question was asked about A.J. Brown and where that relationship is, and Hurts had conversation about that, but no news of any trade yet. June 1st is Monday, so we'll be watching the A.J. situation closely. In the NHL, the Hurricanes beat the Canadiens 4-0 last night, taking a 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Andrew DeCecco will join us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. Herm Edwards joins us at 9:05. This update is brought to you by Foreman Mills. Philly, 2201 Cotman Ave is open, and the grand deals are still on. Foreman Mills. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Now back to Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
All right, is there an update on the A.J. Brown trade talk? Well, apparently there is from Ian Rappaport. We'll get to that in a minute. But if you're just tuning in, already a back-and-forth debate here on the program that you can be a part of at 610-632-0975 on the Davis Honda text line. When this story comes out, when A.J. Brown is traded, and you're reading it, do you think A.J. Brown will look worse or Jalen Hurts will look worse? John said Hurts. Connor and I both say A.J. Brown. Now, I say it because of the Eagles' efforts to make it A.J. Brown looking worse.
And I say Hurts because I have listened to the nonsense that has been spun about the story, and I can't believe the amount of Eagles fans, and I say Eagles fans, that have excused a guy who quit on his teammates, complained when they were 4-0, created the discord, quit during games, quit on routes, and they have found a way to justify his behavior.
Wait, so are you saying Jalen will look worse because of the fans' perspective?
Yes.
No, then what about you?
Because it's perspective.
I don't care about the fans'
He's not going to look worse.
I care about you.
He's not going to look worse in mine because it's not going to move me at all because I believe, first of all, I believe I know the story. And second of all, he will not look worse in my eyes.
Oh, so then you think it's A.J. Brown?
No, because I believe you're asking, what is this?
When you read the story, do you think you will put down the paper or click the X on the screen and say, wow, Jalen came out bad in that one?
No.
Or A.J. came out bad in that one?
Oh, to me, it's going to be a spin of, I think it's going to be people will read it and they will find a way to blame Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I'm asking you.
No, I believe that's what it's going to be. With me, I told you, my opinion's not going to be changed by what I read because it's what I've been told.
Oh, mine will change based on what I read.
Mine's not going to.
If we get a tell-all of stuff that we don't know, and it's
if
like
it comes
Jalen
out
did
that
this,
everybody
that, and the
hates
other.
Jalen, then my mindset will change.
And I'm going to tell you that the mindset is not going to change because of that. I've been told flat out that that's not factual. So and there's no reason for me to believe that's factual. So that's the case that everybody hates Jalen.
All right, who do you think will come out looking worse when you read the article from whoever writes it? 610-632-0975.
People read things with their own bias and agenda.
Yeah.
And there are people who have been telling you for months that AJ didn't want to leave.
Right, but I'm asking you, like, what do you?
No, but I'm telling you, I already told you is what it is. Nothing that I'm going to read unless I read that there is documented evidence of something that I do not already know. Yes, that could change me. I don't believe that I'm getting that.
My one fear for the Jalen side of things
is what?
A lot of people were talking about Jalen during the season. Now, could that have been AJ? Maybe.
Yeah,
could that have been Patullo? Maybe.
Yes, it was. It was Patullo. We already know Patullo was feeding stuff.
That's my one fear. Like, there was an effort during this past season to, like, slander Jalen Hurts for, like, a 2-week stretch. There was, like, a 2-week stretch where we were reading articles and hearing podcasts from the inside that Jalen was some issue.
By the way, Patullo will be a source, I guarantee you, in a non-sourced source in any story that comes out about the Eagles that we read in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
He'll be one of those.
Yeah, he's definitely he talks.
Because he was last year. He was one of those people last year trying to play cover your ass last year. So, yes, that'll be happening.
Rappaport yesterday on the NFL Network. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts speaks at OTAs, so that's obviously going to be a segment.
Sure, huge thing.
And it's funny because they were sort of reacting to what Jalen said, and then all of a sudden he turns the conversation. Out of nowhere, we have a new potential report in this A.J. Brown trade talk.
You know, we're all waiting for June 1st to happen so the cap hit is in half for the Philadelphia Eagles and they could trade him. I just don't know that it's going to be like snap your fingers and the deal is done because the two sides are where they have been, which is the Eagles wanting a first-round pick in 2027. The Patriots, the most likely destination. We'll see if someone else rises, but Patriots, the most likely destination, not being willing to give up a first-round pick as of right now that means they're not particularly close. And, yeah, there's a chance this could drag on for the foreseeable future.
Where is this coming from?
Well, no. There's key to listen in the soundbite, though.
Okay.
Is the Patriots not wanting to give the 2027 first-round draft pick. If you listen to it, he says, the Eagles wanting a 2027 first-round draft pick, Patriots not willing to do that. Adam Schefter has said over and over again, it's going to be a 2028. I believe that is what is the case. It will be a 2028 first-round draft pick. I think that's where he's said the Eagles can want what they want. The Eagles are going to get what they get. And I believe they're going to get a 2028 first-round draft pick. So I think that's where Rappaport could still then at the end of the report go, well, the Eagles really wanted a 2027, and they were holding out for it.
2028.
But they got the 2020.
I get what you're saying, but the end of the clip is not particularly close.
I didn't hear years.
He said it in the very first part of the clip. Play it again. He says it in the very first part of the clip. The Eagles want a 2027 pick.
We're all waiting for June 1st to happen so the cap hit is in half for the Philadelphia Eagles and they could trade him. I just don't know that it's going to be like snap your fingers and the deal is done, because the two sides are where they have been, which is the Eagles wanting a first-round pick in 2027.
Okay.
The Patriots, the most likely destination.
The Eagles want a 2027 pick because they want to have another 2027 pick next year. It's the Patriots. Adam Schefter has told us over and over again it's going to be a 2028. That is the thing, and there's the issue right there, is that I don't believe that there is I don't believe that's going to be a holdup. I believe that Adam's pretty confident that that deal's already litigated, that the Eagles are going to have to settle for the 2028 because AJ put them in this position.
Yeah, it's amazing because that's the second time in this week where Rappaport has mentioned it might not happen June 1st. James Palmer saying it might not happen June 1st.
I think that Ian maybe, who, by the way, doesn't have the relationship, I can speak pretty confidently, he doesn't have the relationship with Howie Roseman that Adam Schefter does. Maybe he doesn't know what Howie Roseman's willing to take, and that Howie Roseman's willing to take the 2028, and maybe Adam knows that he is. That could be. That could also be part of that discussion point.
All right.
As this thing goes along.
All right, let's check the Davis Honda text line. You can feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. Who comes out looking worse whenever this article drops between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, this entire saga? Who ends up looking worse?
John for Doylestown will lead us off and says it's possible the story is more about AJ's mental health and sad breakdowns, and people just feel bad for Brown and don't even talk about Jalen.
I'm sure, look, this will not be a 5-paragraph article. So you might get some of that. I don't think that's going to be the end-all, be-all. I think when people speak anonymously, it's easier to open up about your true feelings. And they might say, man, AJ's a complicated guy. But man, was it exhausting. Like that could happen.
And that this is remember, as any type of mental health comes up in this discussion, that this has completely been orchestrated like a maestro. His desire to get to New England.
Yeah.
This is something that is orchestrated. So this isn't somebody having a breakdown. This is somebody trying to calculated move to where they want to be.
Yeah, he wants to be in New England. There's no mental health about it.
So you can tell me, you can spin any mental health story you want to spin to me. This is a calculated, what do I need to do to get my way? So BS on any of.
And look, I know that A.J. Brown has been very open about his struggles with mental health. Like I know that he has
I believe they're true. Yeah, I believe
I just don't think the story is going to be, I wanted to go to New England for my mental health. I think I was a fan of the New England Patriots as a kid. I almost cried on camera when I got my signed Tom Brady jersey. I like Mike Vrabel, and
that's great.
I was promised that I'll be like the number one guy in the offense.
Yeah, I just wonder.
And that's what matters to A.J.
That's
Brown.
what it is.
That's what matters to A.J. Brown is personal glory.
That's the trade, but the fracturing of the situation between him and Jalen Hurts is also a big part of this. And what led into that? Like, the trade is the result. We're also trying to figure out the genesis, and who knows where in the world that came from.
Yeah, who knows? By the way, a first for me on the YouTube chat.
What's that?
I appreciate our audience as always. I had a guy, where is this at? Beer battered gummy shark.
That's an interesting tag there.
So my first question is the comment that you made about me. I would like to flip back and say, why is your name Beer Battered Gummy Shark? But he says, why do I think that Andrew is a closet serial killer?
Smart man.
Look, you don't know where the bodies are. Saying.
All I will tell you is this: is if anybody can, and it's one of the things that I tell you about generational, as far as sports fans. There was never a time in this city where this city's sports fans would have found a way to be standing up, defending, cheering, standing behind a guy who quit on routes, who quit during games, who didn't give it his all for his team.
Yeah.
That would never have been that but in today's day and age, somehow there are people who say, well, he's justified. That's great.
Apparently.
I'm glad I don't work with those people. I'm glad I do not have to work with those people and be on the same team with those kind of people.
Apparently,
There's
Beer
no
Battered
justifying.
Gummy Shark is delicious.
I'd try it.
I'm down. Absolutely.
A beer battered gummy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never turn.
Well, you've never been to a Southern country fair.
I would try it.
They
I like
fry
beer. I like
everything.
batter.
Yeah, hell
You
yeah.
like that? Yeah.
I'm in. All right, coming up next, not just a Jalen AJ day. We also have Cristopher Sanchez to celebrate. He made franchise history yesterday, but you can start looking at what's next. How far can this streak go? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Eagles. wonderful faces, check out youtube.com/975 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
It is 6:48 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We will let you know where Cristopher Sanchez stands among history. John.
Amazing.
But I have to go to this call right away.
Okay.
It's a tinfoil cap Thursday here on Kincade and Salciunas.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I go out to see our guys, Austin Jones, Sean Rodman, during the break, and Sean's like, we got a caller on line one. And I don't want to spoil it, so let's go to our man Miguel in Lakewood. What's up, Miguel?
What's up, Miguel?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up?
buddy?
What are you making of the A.J. Brown situation?
Hey, I have this theory, and I feel as though, like, how he did, like, a petty but also, smart move. A.J. requested a trade, all that good stuff. And he says, you know what, I'm going to give it to you. But while you get traded, I'm going to reamp the whole offense, to the point that it's going to be a passing offense. And you're going to get the stats you want, but guess what? You're not going to be here. And I feel as though that's going to backfire on A.J. because everything that he wanted, the Eagles are doing it, and everything's going to backfire on him when he goes to New England.
So what your theory is, for the record, you believe that Howie Roseman said, all right, I'm going to hire Sean Mannion out of spite so that we have a better passing offense, and A.J. will have to watch it from New England.
This is interesting. Let me hear this. Yeah. So he's in spite of him. Because A.J. could say, I want to stay.
Yeah, what if A.J. stays?
A.J. could say, I want to stay. I don't want to go then.
He's under contract.
He could say, I want to stay.
Yeah, but I feel as though it's too late now. It's like, you know what? This is what you wanted. This is what you're getting. You're going to go. Bye. Have a good one. Don't worry. We can win.
No.
I love it. Look, Miguel, I love the theory, man. I love tinfoil cap theories. You know me. Like, I'm all about it. Give me all the tinfoil cap theories you got.
Well, you're a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that might not be tinfoil cap theory. I don't know.
We found out about you. You're a serial killer.
So Howie Roseman said, all right, A.J., screw you. We're going to trade you, and we're going to hire Sean Mannion because of it. I love it. I love that theory. If A.J. Brown was still here, they were going to hire the guy that invented the handoff. They were going to hire that guy if A.J. Brown stayed. Because they had to fire Petula, right? Like they were going to be in search of an OC. If A.J. never requested a trade, they would have signed or hired the first run-happy guy they could have found.
That's chess by Howie Roseman. He's not playing checkers.
Love it. All right.
That's interesting, though. I like I like that.
Love it, man. Not even 7 o'clock this morning. All right. Cristopher Sanchez set the franchise record for the Philadelphia Phillies for the consecutive scoreless inning streak. Do you have the list in front of you, Johnny?
I did. I can pull it up again.
I have it, but you were getting into it earlier.
What's amazing is the list is truly amazing because right now he's going to be with 4 more outs. He's in the top. He's going to be tied with Bob Gibson.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Was that guy any good?
Yeah,
he was really. My father would talk about Bob Gibson, Connor, and would just say that he was the scariest guy that any player ever got in the box against. That Bob Gibson was the guy who intimidated the most people when they would stand in the batter's box.
Well, he never saw 6'1" to 6'6" Cristopher Sanchez.
Yeah, the 5 inches that he grew.
I mean, right now we're talking 44-1 right now, right? For Cristopher Sanchez, or is he at
44 and 2/3?
Okay, so
you have to complete the inning.
Dumbest thing in the world.
That was there was confusion yesterday that he had to complete the entire 4th inning shutout, even though it was weird. I was kind of confused.
It's a number no, because this is by the number of outs of how long they went scoreless.
They explained it. They explained it on the broadcast. I forget exactly what the reasoning was. He had to complete the inning for it to count because of when it started.
Really?
Because it started in an inning.
Oh,
and he
okay.
had to it was weird. They explained it on the broadcast yesterday.
Bob Gibson is the one that I say he's 3 innings from being all alone in 5th place.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. I mean, that's really, really crazy. And the fact that Oral Hershiser's number is even in his reach, in his grasp, is pretty crazy.
I mean, that's 2 starts, right, from what we've seen in the month of May.
15 innings, the next 2 starts. for him to get to Oral Hershiser
And if you just look ahead, it will be another Padres game
at home.
And then it would be a Blue Jays game in Toronto.
Ooh,
So that could be difficult.
that's difficult.
But if we're look, he's already set franchise records. We'll see if he can climb up higher. And I
but
imagine
it's
that he climbs up
incredible.
higher. Right now, he's seventh all time. Sixth on the list is Sal Magley. Connor, I know you were a big fan of his when he pitched in 1950.
Yes.
Great nickname.
Well, he's 11th all time, right? Right now?
No, he's seventh.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm 11th.
According to this article on MLB.com from just yesterday, he is sixth.
See, on my
Or
list,
seventh,
now
excuse
it's
me.
strange is I have him 11th at 44 and 2/3 because Cy Young, Doc White, and Sal Magley are at 45 innings. They're at 45. They have 45 inning streaks on their record. So these articles maybe have different numbers. They're at 40. They have 45 inning streaks. Carl Hubble has a 45 and a third inning streak.
Yes, he's fifth on this list. Sal Magley, by the way, nicknamed the Barber because he used to throw fastballs up and in so much.
Oh,
that's a great nickname, dude.
Well, look. Don Drysdale, number 2 on the list.
Yes.
Walter Johnson, Bob Gibson. 3 of the top 5 are guys who used to throw at your face.
Yeah.
To get guys off the plate. Today's day and age, there'd be people sucking their thumbs.
Oh, absolutely.
And saying that baseball needs to be banned because of the way it used to be. So it's a different day and age.
Oh, you know what?
He's 11th.
Here's the difference. They're the dead ball era and all.
Oh,
that
they're not
kind of
counting
stuff.
it? I mean, no, because the rule is, do they not count that?
I guess.
Oh, are they counting just modern era? Because you're counting modern era.
Well, no, because they have 1950s and they have 1933.
Well, no, 1950s would count. Should count. That would count.
Well, they have Hubble on here on 1933.
I mean, is Carl Hubble's 1933? He should, I don't know, 1904. I guess they're not counting. Doc White.
They're going back to the start of the live ball era, which was 1920.
Yeah, that's sort of
that was a good year for it.
I'm going to be honest, I don't fully understand live ball, dead ball, and it's too late to ask.
Well,
don't worry about it.
We'll leave
don't
that
worry about
one.
it. Somebody can Google that on their own time.
Juiced, not juiced.
Yeah. Coming up next, more on the success of Cristopher Sanchez, but we can open this up to all sports in Philadelphia. No one saw this coming. What other players did we never see having the success that they had ahead of time? We'll get into those answers coming up next, but also, who will look worse? We'll check the poll of the day from Dr. Abidan Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. The poll's strong for 4 hours every morning. When the article drops, will it be Jalen or AJ? You let us know. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Sanchez sets the record. I'm Connor Thomas, and Cristopher Sanchez set a new Phillies franchise record yesterday for scoreless inning streak after throwing 7 more shutout innings in a shutout win over the Padres. Phils won 3-0 to sweep San Diego. But the big story was not the win by the team. It was Sanchez's performance once again. He went the entire month of May without allowing a run. The Phillies are off today, but start a huge 3-game series in L.A. with the Dodgers tomorrow night as they look to continue their hot stretch of baseball play. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts met with the media at Eagles OTAs yesterday. Of course, Jalen was asked about A.J. Brown and where that situation stands. Hurts talked about what a trade of Brown would mean for the offense and his reaction to that.
And I think for us, we're focused on learning the offense. It really doesn't change in terms of our approach to improve. There's an if, obviously been a lingering thing, but nothing can replace all the greatness that we achieved together.
But we're still expecting greatness from this Eagles team, so they'll have to figure that out as they continue their offseason work. June 1st is Monday, so we'll be watching the A.J. situation closely. And in the NHL, the Hurricanes took down the Canadiens 4-0, taking a 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. They are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Finals. Andrew DeCecco will join us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show to talk some OTAs. Herm Edwards joins us at 9:05. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 7 a.m. on this Thursday morning here on Kincade and Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. By the way, Connor, the dead ball era, letting you know, because there is some confusion as to where Cristopher Sanchez actually ranks right now with the consecutive scoreless inning streak. The dead ball era, baseballs were manufactured with a rubber core that absorbed energy, making them travel much shorter distances. They were rarely replaced because, nowadays if you watch a baseball game, if you throw a ball, it's, I don't want that one. How many baseballs do they go through in a game? Like 600?
Yes.
They were rarely replaced. So, you use the same ball for an entire inning unless it went out of the field of play.
Sure.
Meaning that the same ball could be used for hundreds of pitches, becoming scuffed, stained, soggy, and misshapen as the game progressed.
Now we know.
And that's what happened from 1900 to 1920, which is why people have a different opinion on who stands where in terms of the ranking.
Okay, people having different opinions, that's fine. Opinions are like everybody's got one.
Yeah.
But should that change the record book?
Absolutely.
So your opinion on something should change the record book of baseball?
It's not an opinion. It's the quality of the thing.
Yeah, but Barry
Barry
Bonds is the all-time home run hitter
it's baseball,
in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that doesn't change the record book.
Probably should not be a thing.
That's an opinion.
Yeah,
it doesn't change the record.
The record's still the record. Like if you
the record's the record.
If you Googled all-time home run hitter in Major League Baseball history, Barry Bonds' name pops.
You can't change the record book based on. Well, this is Connor's opinion. This is Andrew's opinion.
Watch me. I got
John's
that type
opinion.
of pull.
You don't have. It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion.
Like Cy Young will always be the most wins by pitcher in Major League Baseball history because he pitched 7 days a week. Are you going to say, well, it doesn't count because
it doesn't count because he got to pitch more often?
No, I like Cy Young. He can stay.
You can't do that.
You and Cy hang out on your free time. All right, so
not enough people named Cy today either.
No, that's a good name. We can bring it back.
Not enough.
Cristopher Sanchez sets the franchise record yesterday for consecutive scoreless innings, surpassing Grover Cleveland Alexander. We've been talking about the story that is Cristopher Sanchez. I did not realize this. Austin Jones, our wonderful YouTube producer, informed me during the break, a name that we've talked about a couple of times this week, Bailey Falter, who was the guy that Cristopher Sanchez was sort of competing with. And let's not act like the team didn't look toward Bailey Falter a little bit more than Cristopher Sanchez. Bailey Falter was released by the Royals yesterday. So Cristopher Sanchez sets the franchise record on the same day where the guy he competed with gets released by Kansas City after his outing 2 days ago. 2 1/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 long balls allowed.
I remember, was it Bailey Falter? Did he put them down 4-0 to the Padres in the first inning?
That was that game where Hoskins should have won NLCS MVP, but nobody wants to have that conversation because Bryce had the big moment.
Yeah, it should have been Hoskins.
It should have been Bryce.
No, it should have been Hoskins.
It should have been Bryce.
Hoskins.
Dude, look at that series. Rhys Hoskins was robbed of NLCS MVP.
Absolutely.
You hit Bedlam at the bank, gets Bryce.
No,
absolutely.
One moment versus an entire series.
Exactly.
Dude, if we did a take day, because I know Ray does that on his social media, take day Tuesdays, Rhys Hoskins should have won NLCS MVP.
It was robbery.
People aren't ready for that conversation. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Field the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. And then we're going to open this up a little bit more because Cristopher Sanchez, nobody expected this. The Phillies didn't expect this, which is why we bring up Bailey Falter. Have there been other players in Philadelphia sports history where we can say that, where nobody expected the greatness? There wasn't even a whisper about that player. But what do we have on the text line first?
By the way, on that, there is an active player that we should all have top of mind for that conversation.
Tyrese Maxey.
No. Mike from Virginia checks in on the A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts conversation. Says, I'm not sure either come off looking bad. I think A.J. probably took personally what Hurts took as all business, kind of like when your dad is your coach and is harder on you than the other kids, so he doesn't look like he's favoring you. I'd bet it's more that than some big scandal.
I absolutely would lean towards where our listener just said, and I said it yesterday on the show, that I believe this is going to come down to one man's ultra intensity turning off one man who is a different cat, and one man who is about team, put your head down, coach's son, and one who is about stats, personal glory.
And they didn't realize that prior to them getting together.
Well, they're not they didn't know each other that well.
Yeah.
I mean, they really didn't know each other that well.
Yeah.
They hadn't spent that much time together.
Jeff McClain had said to us a couple of times that the best friend thing was a little bit overblown. Like that they were best friends. It's still wild that A.J. Brown made Jalen Hurts the godfather of his child.
Did you see his wedding party?
Yeah, no, it was
like your wedding party tends to be people that your
day ones, man.
Your whole life. People that are there with you, ride or die people that are part of your life. They're not people who came into your life the last 2 or 3 years for most people. But for some people, they don't have long-term relationships. They sort of let it, their life goes that way. They burn through people.
All right. Well, what's the poll looking like, Connor? Poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avedon Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. Poll's strong for 4 hours every single morning. It's about that topic. What do we got?
Our question, who do you believe will come out looking worse when we eventually get the full A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts story? Right now, 67% of our responders are voting A.J. Brown.
All right. I want to get more text on that because I want to know from people why, right? Like, I think it's mainly the PR spin that the Eagles are going to.
Which is a great, by the way, great angle. And I'm not discounting Connor and you on that at all.
Yeah, I think, I think Jalen will probably deserve some of the blame in this.
Oh, I think Jalen's going to deserve. I don't believe when two people have this big a chasm that causes this, that it's just one guy is totally to blame.
By the way, has Jalen been necessarily clean in his tenure as the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles? No. That's why his name pops up like every 6 months in some sort of article. Now, I do think some of it's sour grapes, like Kevin Patullo. But Jalen Hurts has not been necessarily clean, but I would imagine that the Eagles will make an effort to make it look much more worse on the side of A.J. Brown because he's not here anymore, and it would be a bad look for the franchise having all this negative publicity on their quarterback that they sided with.
What do you think of the publicity that I would just say to both of you that Jalen got in the pieces that have come out since the end of last season?
I hated it.
No, but what do you think of the Eagles weren't able to control the narrative on any of that, and I think Jalen took a lot of bullets on those.
I'm sure Kevin Patullo spoke a lot.
He did. Yeah, he really did.
He had a lot of people on speed dial.
Yeah, but those were Jalen-focused articles. That's the difference between where we're at right now.
Well, Jalen's going to be a focus.
But Jalen's going to be one of the focus of this article.
Yeah, it's going to be the two guys. Like, there's going to be more Jalen, AJ than there will be anybody else mentioned in this article. Sirianni will be brought up, obviously, because Sirianni was the head coach. How much was he able to keep quiet? Which that's something that Sirianni deserves a lot of credit for. Like, you can't control a guy on social media, but you could try to control it as much as you can inside meeting rooms and on the field and everything. Sirianni might look actually good in this article.
I was told that look to the meeting that was brought together by Big Dom when Big Dom brought Jeffrey Lurie over to see him at practice. That at that point, from that point, A.J. Brown was gone.
Yeah.
From that moment, A.J. Brown was gone. We are going to facilitate you a trade. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Play out the year.
Be a good soldier. Stop with the social media garbage. Stop being a distraction. You're going to get your way. We're going to get you out of here. That is what I believe the story to be. I believe we will read that from that meeting on, it was over. It was already done.
Yep. All right.
And he played like it.
Yeah.
And he played like it.
Especially in the playoff game. All right. Cristopher Sanchez. Other players that you can think of where there was no way people were talking about greatness, and it doesn't have to be greatness where we're talking about franchise record-setting greatness, but like a player where you're like, I don't see it. And then, boom, they explode to the scene. You said there's an active guy. Now, I thought you were going to say Tyrese Maxey because that's an answer for me.
No, dude, not even close.
You can't. Tyrese Maxey was a
first-round pick.
It was a first-round pick and a top 20 pick in the draft, top 21. 22. Yeah, I mean, you can't
but
do
nobody
that.
thought that Tyrese Maxey was going to be this.
But guys that are drafted,
all-star starter?
Guys that are drafted where Tyrese Maxey's drafted become all-star starters all the time. All the time. Like, that's not an anomaly. That's not something that guys who are drafted where Tyrese was drafted become all-star starters all the time.
You guys are missing, like, the most obvious one.
What's that?
I can't believe the name hasn't been said yet.
All right, go on.
Do you have a guess before I say it?
Are you gonna say Dan Vladar?
No.
Oh, because I thought last night I'm thinking Dan Vladar, and I'm like, too small a sample size.
Jordan Mailata. Never played that game
That's
before.
a great one. That's a great one,
That's
Connor.
fair. Yeah.
No, that's a great one.
He's an all-pro guy. He's never played the game.
Connor, he never, and
That's probably the 1 seed.
that's the 1 seed right now.
That
I
one
don't
probably
know.
can't get knocked off.
I don't know that can be beaten.
Unless Uar Bernard becomes Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
then we got a conversation.
we're not there yet. Yeah, it's probably Mailata being the
Connor, I don't
number
think
one
that,
answer.
well, I would tell you that Jason Kelsey would be a close in the horse race.
That's what Austin actually said on
Jason
on
Kelsey's
the call stream.
Jason Kelsey has to be there in that discussion.
Yeah, 6th round pick, a guy that also he's talked about a lot. He thought he was going to get released after one of his bad seasons, and then we know what ended up happening. Now we're talking about him being one of the greatest centers in the history of the NFL.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love Jason Kelsey. His brother's a Hall of Famer. He played Division I football at a power conference school.
Mailata's the number one. That doesn't mean the conversation's over.
But
Yes,
Connor,
it does. Show done.
Connor, no, all right.
I'm on vacation
All right,
now, I guess.
No, beat Connor. Beat Connor. Come up with a better one because I'm not sure we're going to have a better one. I honestly, and Connor, I'm embarrassed that I sat there last night when I sent that along. I sat there last night racking my brain going, well, who could be better than Cristopher Sanchez? And I'm not sure. And Mailata never even popped into my mind. That's embarrassing.
Now, if I've learned anything, there's always another answer out there. And there's years that Andrew and I haven't seen. There's years, John, that you haven't seen. So we'll see what the people have to say.
Look, this doesn't beat it by any means. All right, I'm not saying that this beats Jordan Mailata, but one of the answers could legitimately be Joel Embiid.
What?
Guy didn't start playing basketball till when?
Yeah, but he's
We've
third
already
pick in
gotten that
he was
on
the
the
third
text line.
pick in the draft.
Okay.
No.
And nobody knew who he was.
Third pick in the
And then
yes,
he doesn't. And then
college basketball fans knew.
And
who
then
he
he
was.
didn't play for 2 years because of his injury, and then he becomes one of the most skilled big men in the NBA.
I got it. College basketball fans knew who he was.
Did they say that he was going to be one of the most skilled big men in the NBA? Is what I'm getting at. There's knowing somebody, but there's not expecting much at all.
But they absolutely believed that Joel Embiid was going to be an impact player in the NBA. Yes.
Not to this level.
I don't believe that he's reached the level that anybody was. I hope that he
so
was.
Not true.
What?
He's missed more games than he's played.
No,
that's
but
not
we're
the
talking about
point.
the ability of what he.
Well, the
he was-
ability. Look. In theory, he was absolutely fantastic. In practice, he's never reached. He's never gotten us to places that we thought he would get us.
That's a team thing. He won an MVP. Do you know how many guys have won an MVP in
that's a
NBA?
Joel thing. He hasn't been available for work. He didn't have the dedication to his craft. It is a 50-50 thing. His body betrayed him. There's been a lot of things to that story, I will give you. There's a lot of things to the story, but don't just pass it off as it's not been on that.
I will ask you, did you expect to ever see, when it's been greatness, the greatness from Joel Embiid?
I thought when Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were teamed together, I thought we were going to see a parade.
No,
yes.
I'm saying the individual. Did you expect?
Yes, I expected them to be great together. Yes, I thought we were going to see a parade.
I never thought.
And I believe you did too.
I never thought in a million years that I'd see Joel Embiid do the things that he did.
I thought I guarantee you.
Of course I thought they were going to win championship.
Well, then we thought they're going to be championship players. Then you did think it.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
We're talking individuals.
Separated
from the championship.
Then if you're thinking they were going to be,
the Phillies might never win a World Series with Christopher Sanchez.
If you're thinking that Embiid and Simmons were going to bring us a championship, we were thinking they were going to be great players.
Yeah, some of us thought that Ben Simmons was going to be the guy.
I thought
the organization thought he was going to be the guy.
Now the funny thing is, I always thought Embiid would be more than Simmons. Mainly because of the fact that I had known too much of
the way the roster was built over the years.
I was the Nerlens Noel guy. Let's show some respect.
Sure. All right. We would love to know players that you did not expect to reach the level that they reached. Like you had no thoughts that they were going to reach that certain level. And of course, this coming off of Cristopher Sanchez, who nobody knew. Quite frankly, nobody knew who Cristopher Sanchez was.
Not at all.
When Curtis Meade was traded, I don't remember many people going, "Oh man, that's a bad trade." Because I know you prospect people out there. Anytime a prospect's moved, it's like, oh, my God, this is going to hurt the Phillies in the long run.
Sanchez was a prospect for the Rays. Lawyered. By the way, for the conversation, because we got Tom Brady on the text line. Philadelphia sports.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Come on, guys.
I mean, we're not talking about, and remember, too, with Tom Brady. Again, too, it's crazy. But, again, Tom Brady was never even he was not even on the Patriots' radar. Bill Belichick was never, and it is revisionist history, he was not saying, man, we got something in this Brady kid. Oh, did we get a steal in the draft? Oh, 199, we got the future, man. It absolutely was an accident. Tom Brady was a complete accident. Much like Cristopher Sanchez. It's a complete accident. It's that same thing. Nobody saw Brady coming. I hear people going, man, the Patriots were just next level. They saw something in Brady. No, nobody saw it.
No, nobody.
Brady was a doughy underachiever. He was a doughy underachiever.
Yeah, nobody thought that. All right, let's check the Davis Honda text line. You can text in 610-632-0975. You can leave a voicemail. You can call in as well. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, who do you believe will come out looking worse when the article eventually drops after the trade happens? And Cristopher Sanchez makes history. Is he one of the greatest stories in Philadelphia sports? A guy that was not expected to have any bit of the success that he's having right now. And now he's one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. What do we got?
So we have a check-in on the A.J. and Jalen thing. And Jeff from D.C. says it will be A.J. that looks worse. Same stories about A.J. came out in Nashville about him when he left there. A.J. is about A.J. Always has been, always will be.
And Jeff from D.C. is a very smart man because you can go and read it, and Dork Boy has taken the time to do so. Go back and read when A.J. left the Titans. And then go read this story. Go read some of the stuff going on now. He's the same guy. He's the same person. He's self-centered. He's about himself. He's not about team. And that's exactly what the whole thing was in the Titans. He's about himself.
Derrick Henry.
That's what he's
to Saquon. When the Eagles when the Eagles signed Saquon, AJ went, "Damn it."
He's about himself. He's about himself.
Damn it.
And look, it's he's a spectacular talent. There's no question. He's a spectacular talent.
Yep, absolutely.
And by the way, we are glad that we had him here. Glad that we had him here. And celebrate it. I bought a jersey. But man, he's the same guy. It's always going to be about him. And if it's not about him, he's not going to be happy. Not going to be, if he's not the center of attention, if he's not the guy, he's not going to be happy.
Real quick before we got a call on the line, but before we get to that, yesterday in the shutout, something that we've obviously been talking so much about Cristopher Sanchez and what he's been able to do. Shout out to Edmundo Sosa in left field making the big play that he made, and Justin Crawford, Crawford's been getting deservedly so some heat for his play in center field, and yeah, that catch that he made yesterday.
Well, he saved the streak.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't go over the wall, I mean, that's taking a weird carom off the wall. You probably have a runner on third base. You know what I mean? And with less than 2 outs. Justin Crawford's catch in center field was an unbelievable play. I love plays like that where I think guys know what's going on, so they sell out a little bit. Very, very random. There was a guy that pitched for the Nationals, Jordan Zimmerman. Yeah. Very out of left field, sorry. He threw a no-hitter, and the left fielder, the last out of the game, was like, guys don't even attempt to try to make that catch, and he makes this diving catch where he put his body out on the line. Like, I love that kind of stuff. It's just guys being dudes for the squad. I thought that was really cool.
AJ can't relate to that, by the way. Could you explain that?
I thought that was really cool.
Explain that, because AJ Brown may be watching. Can you explain that?
Yeah, going out for your fellow teammate.
Doing something on behalf of the teammates.
Yeah.
Okay,
so some great defensive plays yesterday, too, for the Phillies.
Yeah, Crawford, I don't really get the whole worried about him in center thing. The
worry is because
the defense has not been great.
The worry is because the baseball people have already told you that they think he's going to be a corner outfielder in the long run. Like the people that study the farm system a lot more than we do.
No, I'll tell you right now, though. I always think that center field, people over-evaluate how tough it is to play outfield at the major league level. Like, I think if you're an athlete, you can figure it out. And he is an incredibly athletic player. I don't
Brandon
worry
Marsh
at all
is
about
incredibly athletic. The guy can't read a ball.
Can't read a ball.
He's a really good left fielder.
Yes,
and
so could
Justin Crawford is too.
And maybe they move him. But anyone who's
that gives you. But the thing is, then you got two of them.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Then you play him in the corners and you go get a center fielder.
Yeah, but you got to lock up Adalis Garcia to a 10-year contract.
Yeah, you got to make sure you do that.
Dombrowski might do
exactly.
that.
He's going to be totally fine.
Let's go to Jim in Maryland. Jim, you're on Kincade and Salciunas. What's up, Jim?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Just want to say I love your show. Listen to you guys every morning.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you.
And this player is not at the level of Mailata and Sanchez, but somebody who instantly came to mind for the value was in December of 2004, the Phillies picked up a Rule 5 guy in Shane Victorino.
Yeah.
With no expectations going in. And he really delivered some value.
By the way,
that's a huge one.
He had a great career even outside of Philadelphia. winning with the Boston Red Sox. I mean, that's a great answer, Jim, and we appreciate the call. I mean, Shane Victorino,
He's a hell of a player.
like Rule 5 guy, and all of a sudden he's your like staple starting center fielder and the top of the lineup. Like he's a great story. He was a stud. 4-time Gold Glove winner, won 2 World Series, one with the Phillies, one with the Red Sox. And he was big, and I think it was the ALCS for the Red Sox. Like, that's a great answer.
Have you had the opportunity to ever talk baseball with him?
No, I have not.
Really interesting in that I think he has the boyish enthusiasm talking about the game that Connor Thomas does.
Well, and he loves it so much. He's been Savannah Banana stuff. He's a part of
like
that.
He's
one of the teams.
The I forget what it is.
He's one of the managers.
Yes, he has an enthusiasm for talking about the game.
Yeah.
That to me is just so infectious and it's great. It's like our own golden retriever, Connor Thomas.
And I think he's a part of the All-Star festivities too. Here in Philadelphia.
I certainly hope he is.
Yeah.
Because he's a tremendous ambassador for the sport and honestly an ambassador for the franchise. Great dude. Great dude.
Damn right, man.
Can they add him to the lineup?
Yeah, I would love that. Then we'd have a center fielder.
Probably still hit.
I saw him get a hit for the Bananas.
Guess what? He'd know how to not put every ball in the air with launch angle. You know?
Coming up next.
Maybe Charlie could, there you go.
All this Phillies talk has been fun today.
It has been.
Too bad we won't have baseball in 2027. The first proposal.
Let's start planning now.
The first proposal from the Players Association has been sent. I don't know if you guys saw it. Did you see it, Johnny? We have the details. And spoiler alert, the league hates it. It's Kincade and Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. Oh, let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app. My bad. This is your reminder to check in daily. I love this. I love they've been doing this for you. They've been doing it throughout the regular season on Fridays, but throughout the entire NBA playoffs, they have been giving you daily happy hours. Well, now that we only have one series going on in the Western Conference, and of course it'll then be the NBA championship, they're not playing every single day. But we have a game tonight. Game 5, Thunder Spurs, and they have special options for you. Drops that you don't want to miss, from profit boost to bonus bets and more. Check in every single day that there is an NBA playoff game, and you will see certain rewards every single day. Don't miss your chance to get a little extra something out of the action. Just head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. And I imagine that the Spurs tie up the series. Wemby had a horrible game in Game 5. I think the Spurs even the series. And then we have a Game 7, which we will all lock in for. You got to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in or required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Just head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What a month of May. I'm Connor Thomas, and Cristopher Sanchez set a new Phillies franchise record scoreless inning streak yesterday after throwing 7 more shutout innings in his most recent start. The Phils won the game 3-0, sweeping the Padres in San Diego, and Sanchez's historic note was the highlight of it. He went the entire month of May without allowing a run, ending a record that stood for 115 years. Here's how the call sounded like when his start came to an end on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 7 shutout innings for Cristopher Sanchez. 5 consecutive starts of at least 7 shutout innings, which is also a new franchise record.
The Phils are off today, but start a huge 3-game series in L.A. with the Dodgers tomorrow night. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts met with the media at OTAs yesterday. Of course, questions asked about A.J. Brown, and Hurts talked about the great times that they've had and always cherishing that. But, hey, June 1st is Monday, so we'll be watching that situation closely to see when we get trade news, as that is expected. Hurricanes beat the Canadians 4-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL, taking a 3-1 lead in that series last night. Andrew DeCecco will join us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. Herm Edwards joins us at 9:05. Some great football talk coming. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Got something to say about Philly sports? Weekdays with Marks. Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Will Cristopher Sanchez's scoreless streak go to 2028? He would have to complete it this year, and then he won't pitch in 2027 because there might not be any baseball. We'll tell you why in a minute or two. But there is now a second accusation of the morning, Connor. Somebody on our YouTube chat earlier today was wondering if I'm a serial killer. He's like, why do I get the vibe that Salciunas is a serial killer?
No, it was just that one guy one time, right?
We don't really talk about that anymore. And now, apparently, I'm being accused of having amnesia.
Yes. Now, by the way, everybody in Genoa City and Port Charles has had amnesia at some point.
Okay,
Like,
I don't live
thing.
there, though.
Matt Clark has amnesia right now on Young and the Restless. Corey is a 10-year listener and a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you, Corey.
He's a big fan of yours, and he wants to absolutely preface his comment to this.
That's all. It always means he's going to say that I suck.
No, but he's questioning you because he says, I swear I do not. I don't want to misquote him here. I do not want to misquote Andrew, so I want him to be able to answer this. So can you ask him? I heard him say something to you, and I wondered whether I'm listening to the right radio station.
Okay.
I heard Andrew pre-2020 with the Cuz predict multiple Sixers championships in the roaring 20s.
Yeah, that's not the argument that
With
we were having,
with Joel Embiid becoming the next generational talent in the NBA.
Okay, yeah, and what's the question?
So, like, everybody was saying that about Joel Embiid here in town. You said to me, you looked at me and went, who was calling for Joel Embiid to be a generational talent?
No, at that point, we're talking about the whole package.
I'm saying coming
when he
out
was drafted out of college, people were talking about him being this freak.
He was drafted in 2014. We're talking about 2020. That's 6 years later. That's 4 years of NBA data of watching him play basketball.
I got you, but the thing is, though, is that people were talking about him being a freak. Like there were people. Everybody expected him to be a great NBA player. Like there were by the time he was, even when he got to bounce a basketball and started to play, people were like, he's going to be a great NBA player. Whether he was going to be all-time great,
right?
No, and you didn't say all-time great, but he's saying there were people. By the time 2018 came around, everybody was like, this guy's going to be better than Wilt. So he's going to be the best that ever played. He's going to be. I mean, come on. I
don't remember those conversations.
He can't be in the same breath as Cristopher Sanchez.
In case you're just tuning in, Cristopher Sanchez, one of our topics today is what other players did you not see this coming at all, right? Like this over-deliver who they are as advertised. And Cristopher Sanchez had no advertisements, all right? Now he's got Gary Barbera, but he had no he was not
OKC.
He was not advertised at all with Cristopher Sanchez. My point with Joel Embiid was he furthered my expectations by a lot. Like, I was excited for the idea of Joel Embiid. I did not expect him to win an MVP one day in I'm talking about 2016. 2020, that's a whole other conversation. 2016, when he first started, I went to the Sixers game, bought tickets for that first night, and he did things against the Oklahoma City Thunder that I said, how is he doing that at that height? How is he doing that? That was 2 years after he was drafted. Even in college, he was such a raw talent that it was like, all right, can they turn him into something, or is this just raw ability? And what I led with was that he didn't play basketball until what? He was 16 years old?
I think they said 15, 16, right?
Yes, and that was what I led with. The fact that he did not play the sport until 16 years old and is now,
I got you,
was at one point one of the best big men in the NBA.
It's more, though, the Cristopher Sanchez discussion. I mean, there's no, when you're drafted third overall, you can't be brought up in the same discussion as Cristopher Sanchez. Cristopher Sanchez was picked up off of the old bins they used to have at Walmart where you had the DVDs.
Right.
The $1 DVD bin, which, by the way, I used to fish through.
Oh, yeah, those things were great.
I'd fish through, though, for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I would go
try
through
to find
there
one
looking for.
There was never anything good.
No, every once in a while.
Every once in a while you'd find one.
I got impatient.
I figured as much. You're a golden retriever. You saw a ball across the room and you ran to chase it. That's what happened.
All right. The MLB Players Association sent in the first sheet of paper of demands.
Uh-huh.
And this will be the beginning of what will be multiple back and forths that we're going to eventually lose track of what they're actually trying to get. MLB players, this on Fox Sports, propose an expanded free agency and higher minimum pay in CBA talks. One of the things that they really want to do is set that salary floor, and if you're beneath the floor, you get taxed for it. So much like there is the luxury tax if you exceed the fake cap that there is in Major League Baseball, if you don't make the floor, you're still spending the money to reach there. So let's just say you have to reach $10, you're only spending $5, you're still spending that extra $5 to get to the 10, and you're just wasting it pretty much because you don't have players on your roster. And so in theory, I don't mind that idea because you want teams to pay money to try to be more competitive, like the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Miami Marlins, those teams of the world. But the MLB makes a great point. If we're talking about increasing the luxury tax cap, that means the Dodgers just have more money to spend. So if you're a player and you could get offered either a Dodgers roster spot or a Marlins roster spot for very similar pay, which one are you taking? You're still taking the Dodgers.
Call. But there's a limited number of spots. There's a limited number of spots. When the salary cap goes in, there's a limited number of spots.
Well, no, the MLB Players Association is not offering a cap.
Well, that's where of course they aren't. And guess what? There's going to be one. 100% guaranteed, spoiler alert, there's going to be a cap. And until the Players Association agrees to a cap, there ain't going to be baseball. Because you know what happened is? The NBA players said, there's not going to be a cap. The stars of the game said, we're not having a cap. And then when every player in the NBA got a chance to vote on the proposal, guess what? There was a cap. The NHL, the stars of the game, we're not having a cap. And when every player got a chance to vote, and they all get their secret ballot, there was a cap. Same thing happened in the NFL because the stars of the game don't give a damn about the back end of the roster guys. They don't give a damn. They give a damn about their money. They don't care that the bottom guys on the roster make significantly more money when there's a cap. They get paid much more. They get much more out of their lives. But the stars don't care, and they never have.
So here are some of the details. I just explained the luxury tax threshold at the top, but also at the bottom. You have to reach the floor minimum, the floor, or you're going to get charged anyway. Free agent eligibility. It's been 6 seasons of Major League service since 1976. They would want it dropped to 5. Minimum salary for those players that you're talking about. Right now it's $780,000. I would still take that. They wanted to increase to 1.5, then 1.65 the following year, 1.8 the following year, $2 million in 2030, $2.2 million in 2031. So the minimum still goes up, but again, the maximum still goes up.
Yeah, that's never going to work.
Yeah,
what do you mean it's not going to work?
The proposed players?
What the players?
It's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to work, right? Correct, because it's what's going to happen. But the thing is, though, the players on the back end, they're going to do the back end of the players. The owners are going to know to get it passed. They're going to appeal to the 51, 55, 60% that they need to vote for it.
Yeah, I think we all know what's going to happen here. There's going to be a salary cap. The question here is how long are the players able to fight this, and with that, how much baseball do we lose?
Well, baseball players are in the best position of any sport because they make the most. They're in the best position of any sport, even the last guys on the roster. They have the most money in the bank to be able to wait it out.
And not work for a year.
And not
Fully
work.
guaranteed contracts.
Yeah, they not work. So they have the ones that they can wait it out more. There could be a season in jeopardy. I don't believe it'll ever be a season that'll be lost. I'm predicting next year will end up being like the COVID year. I don't know that it'll be that short, but it might be like a 70-game season.
I'd be surprised if they played before June.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I think it will be.
Suck.
I think it's going to end up being like the COVID year. What did they play the COVID year? 50? 50 games?
60-something.
60 games? I think it's going to be something where like baseball comes back around the All-Star game. And that's what it'll be. Because the Bryce Harpers of the world, they yell at the commissioner and say, we don't want to hear about a salary cap. Whereas in reality, half the guys in that locker room, they do want to hear about it because it benefits them.
Hey, everyone gets a vote, stars and role players.
Yep.
So
they do.
Plead your case.
Does Garrett Stubbs turn his back to Bryce Harper?
Absolutely. When it's about Garrett Stubbs' family, Garrett Stubbs' future, sure he will.
All right, coming up
and
next.
he should.
We had today's headlines with Connor. But before we get to today's headlines, an all-time non-answer from a man in power that absolutely needs to fix something because people complain about it almost every single day, and he still found a way to dance around it. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Hey, visit my friends at Benari Jewelers, Exton and Newtown Square. They're absolutely awesome. Two great locations with two beautiful showrooms where you can find one-of-a-kind rings if you're looking to get engaged. Their showcases are filled with the most sought-after bridal designers with thousands of handcrafted engagement rings to choose from, or you can get one that you even custom design yourself. Look, our own Brendan Gunn did it for his beautiful fiance. You can do it too. And you know what he got when he walked out of there? The 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. His diamond's never going to lose value when he's ready to upgrade it, and everybody who buys a diamond at Benari, that's what you get. Benari is a direct diamond importer, so you get the diamond she deserves, the ring she wants, and you still stay under budget. They put you at ease immediately when you walk in the door. You're going to feel comfortable. You're going to love their staff. They're so awesome. They can teach you to buy a diamond like the diamond dealers do, or you can just trust them and say, hey, find me something beautiful. I know you guys stand behind your whatever I purchase here, and I just want to wow her. Well, it'll wow her. Get her a gift from Benari. Benari Jewelers, Exton in Newtown Square, and you can find them online at benarijewelers.com.
is Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5, The Fanatic.
7:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic on this Thursday morning. By the way, later on today, you get to hear John Kincade again. The crowd goes wild. More John Kincade later today.
My brain feels empty. It will feel empty by then.
You have the great round table.
I'm looking forward to
Flyers
this.
end of season broadcast with Johnny Marks and Bill Colarulo.
Yeah, Bill will be there, and again, he is channeling the ghost of Mr. Snyder. He's trying to because I hear Bill talk about what the Flyers should do, and he really wants to go back to the future.
I hope he starts an Austin Matthews chant.
Oh my gosh!
During the broadcast today, and you know what? I might call in to be a part of it. Austin Matthews,
dumbest thing ever.
Well, that happens today. Chickies and Pizza, Marlton, 6 to 8. Check them out, and your chance to win $100 to Rally House with the best or best worst jersey, which I love those contests. Those are always great. All right, real quick before we get to today's headlines. So yesterday, Pat McAfee, we talk about him every once in a while. I am amazed by what he's been able to accomplish.
I like his stuff.
He also is like the one guy somehow that can, because of his personality, ask questions that I feel like sometimes other people won't ask, and he could do it in a way where it's like, all right, I'm going to try to make this funny.
It's part of his. It's part of the. I would say it's part of the shtick.
Yeah,
and it is
absolutely.
part of the shtick.
So at one point he spoke to Adam Silver yesterday, the commissioner of the NBA, and he did the whole like, let me grab the mic and whisper it like it's just you and me talking. I do that every once in a while too. And he asked Adam Silver about the flopping issue because flopping in the NBA is being talked about more than the actual games itself at this point.
By
right?
a lot of people, yeah.
Last year, the talking point around this time was small markets. Oh, this is bad for the NBA. 2 small market teams are going to be going head-to-head in the NBA Finals. This year, it's the flopping because it is egregious. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
SGA, by the way, is really good at it.
He sure is.
He's great at it.
So is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson's great at it. And it's gamesmanship. I admire it. It's gamesmanship.
Yeah. It's just,
No, it sucks. It sucks.
It's tiresome watching it every single night.
When your team doesn't have a guy who can do it really well, or a star that gets it, Joel Embiid.
Yeah, he does it too.
Joel Embiid's a king of
does
flopping.
it too. Here's Adam Silver, all-time non-answer.
How about the flopping? Flopping, big conversation, Mr. Commissioner.
So, it's been a conversation. I would only say that there's a difference between selling a call, exaggeration, and a true flop, which is where you're actually fooling the referees. I think sometimes, even as I sit in the stands at games, players may be falling down, players may be reacting to a call, but then, to me, if they're not fooling the referees, it's like, okay, that's like the players are taught to sell calls these days. I mean, can officiating get better? Of course. We're always working on that. Can officials get fooled occasionally? We're always looking at that as well. But the officiating is incredible.
What?
All-time deflection.
What did he say?
Yeah, it's been talked about. But the officiating's been incredible. I mean, it's been great. Sometimes you get fooled. It's been incredible, though. All-time deflection. And then
the officiating's been incredible.
And then he went on for this whole 5-minute diatribe about how they're going to add AI not Allen Iverson, artificial intelligence to help determine calls quicker.
I wouldn't want Allen Iverson, make decisions like that.
Nah. All right, it's time now for today's headlines of content.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. June 1st is Monday, and the big reason why we're focused on that date is because of all of the news surrounding A.J. Brown and potentially getting traded to the New England Patriots. And with the Eagles in action yesterday and the Patriots in action, there were a lot of questions about A.J. Brown and the potential trade. New England's had the Vrabel stuff. But we might have missed the biggest question of the day between these two teams, and it was asked to one Drake May.
Good question. Are you thicker with 2 C's? Is that the way you're supposed to say it? Is like kind of like the hip thing? Are you thicker with 2 C's? Is that how it's supposed to be? Or
I think that's paused, if that's anything. I think that's not the way to put it.
What?
A legitimate question. He was asked in a press conference. I'm going to ask a question that I hope is not offensive at all, because I could not tell by just the voice. Was that a middle-aged white man asking that question?
I can tell just
I
listening
think you already
to the
know
voice.
the answer to that.
Like,
What?
That was a 48-and-a-half-year-old plus white man asking a question to a young kid.
Like, what is
Hey,
the-
yo, what's up, brother? Hey, pal. That was
How do
Hey,
you do,
young
fellow
kids.
yeah. That was a missed opportunity. That was a swing and a miss by that reporter.
Yeah, dude, that was a swing at a ball in the other batter's box.
Yeah, that was a Nick Castellanos slider low and away.
Wow, that's really bad.
Okay.
That's really bad.
Asking the important
That's
questions.
a one-day suspended credential. If I were...
Wow, that's really weird.
I'd
I
give
would
him a
suspend
week.
that one day. You're not allowed to return after that.
Yeah.
And if I'm Drake May, I am not looking in his direction.
You're not taking his questions
No.
again.
I'm out.
So if you ever worry about the questions that are being asked of the Eagles, just know that's where the bar's at right now, and it is on the floor. Now we have Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. Do the Thunder close out the Spurs? What are your guys' thoughts?
Yes.
I don't. I think Wemby was so bad last game that he has a Wemby performance. Home court. Spurs, I just checked 3.5-point favorites. I think the Spurs even the series.
I would take the money line and the champions.
And McCain over in points and threes.
I don't know about that, but I would take the money line with the champs.
Okay.
I would not take.
I don't think it's a bad pick. I
would
just
not
think
take the points.
I lean toward the Spurs.
I believe that Oklahoma City's winning tonight, so I will not. Whenever I believe that, I do not take the points because I'll just take the
Yeah, you take the
value.
money, yeah.
I'll take the value of taking the money line with the underdog.
I just think Wemby bounces back.
McCain's a great pick for guys we never saw coming.
Yeah,
That's great for that conversation on Christopher Sanchez.
Unfortunately, Daryl Morey never did.
Did he text into the Davis Honda text line with that answer?
Haven't heard from Daryl yet.
I'm floored with the amount of people though that are still going to just try to die on the hill of you're trying to make too much out of it. They honestly did they did another segment on it yesterday on the Malika Andrews show. Just how people around the NBA talking about him. Yet people here are saying, you guys are making too much out of this guy. You see, he's just nothing.
You can get Jared McCain hit 3 threes on FanDuel at plus 132.
Oh, that's
unbelievable.
good value. Speaking of roster
Good club.
moves, I need to ask you guys a yes or no here because we talked about the Bailey Falter DFA that Austin brought up on the same day that Christopher Sanchez had his historic streak continue. There was another DFA yesterday by the Texas Rangers. Did you guys see who it was?
And
No, I did not.
The answer is no.
Andrew McCutchen, DFA'd by the Texas Rangers.
No.
Okay.
I love Kutch. It's just... I'm
not even a sniff?
No. He's batting 192 with one home run and a half.
Sounds like a Phillies outfielder.
And guess who he hit the home run against?
That would be the Philadelphia
Phillies.
Phillies.
The Phillies. Maybe he just likes his ballpark a lot.
I know there are going to be people who bring it up. I'm with you. Like,
So you say absolutely no.
no. I mean, I love Kutch.
Yeah.
Very much in the washed territory at this point.
Yeah, I was surprised that he came back for the 2025 season. And then I think the Pirates were also surprised that he came back because that's why they didn't bring him back this year.
And he was begging this year to get back.
Yeah,
Like, begging
it's sad
with
because
people.
he's one of those guys. I love Andrew McCutchen.
Don't we all?
Love Andrew McCutchen.
Don't we all?
Player, person, love Andrew McCutchen. Leader, all that kind of stuff. He's one of the guys that doesn't realize it's done. And it's a shame. I mean, look, credit to him. He batted .240 in Major League Baseball last year at the age of 38. I'll give that guy credit.
Well, then why would he think he's done then? Why would he think he's done if he hit that? He looks at people that are getting $10 million from the Phillies every year. He's saying, why would I think I'm done?
He's just a guy that
we think he's done, but why should he think he's done? You know?
We'll see if he ends up somewhere else, but he is now on the market. So if
Wow.
you see Phillies fans tweeting, bring back Kutch, that's why.
No,
There
thank
it
you.
is. No, thank you.
But I'm rooting for him.
Yes.
I like Andrew
I will
McCutchen.
root for him, too.
All right, coming up next. Andrew DeCecco in studio. It's a Thursday.
I'll root for that, Andrew.
Andrew DeCecco will be in studio with us. He'll answer our question about who could come out looking worse whenever the article drops, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. But we could also get into some real football talk because he was at OTAs yesterday. What were some of his top observations? And, Johnny, I have a question for Andrew DeCecco based off of something I read this morning that will change the narrative of a lot of people out there.
It will?
It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A special moment for Sanchez. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Phillies saw yesterday out on the field in San Diego as Cristopher Sanchez set a new Phillies franchise record scoreless inning streak. He threw 7 shutout innings in his start as the Phils won the game 3-0, sweeping the Padres out west. And Sanchez went the entire month of May without allowing a run. He's on an unbelievable streak right now. The Phils are on a 3-game winning streak. They're off today, but they start a huge 3-game series in L.A. with the Dodgers tomorrow night. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts met with media at Eagles OTAs yesterday. Of course, the question was asked about A.J. Brown. Hurts talked about what a trade of Brown would mean for the offense.
I think for us, we're focused on learning the offense. It really doesn't change in terms of our approach to improve. There's an if, obviously been a lingering thing, but nothing can replace all the greatness that we achieved together.
June 1st is Monday, so we'll be watching the A.J. situation closely as those trade rumors are coming to a head. Hurricanes beat the Canadiens 4-0 last night, taking a 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL. Andrew DeCecco will join us coming up next. He'll be with us for the remainder of the show. Herm Edwards joins us coming up at 9:05. A lot of great football talk the rest of the way. This update is brought to you by thereamteam.com. Unbeatable savings are on now with 0% for 60 months with approved credit on select Rheem air conditioners. Hurry to thereamteam.com and lock in your savings today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 8 a.m. on this Thursday morning here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic, which means in studio now for the rest of the show will be our man, Andrew DeCecco. Problem is I met him out in the hallway for the second straight week. I just get so excited to see Andrew that I don't let him come into the studio, and then he has to get his headphones set up. So that's my bad. I should let him get here, get comfortable. But I'm just so excited to have a fellow football guy because I don't work with two of them.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me?
Uh-huh.
What's up, Andrew? What's going on? Did I give you enough time?
Yeah. How's everybody doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
All right.
Holding them up out there in the home.
Yeah, that's my fault. All right, OTAs has begun. We will get some of your observations, and I have a very big question that I will ask you that could shift the narrative of Philadelphia sports fans out there. Many. Not all, but many.
Based on OTAs?
Oh, yeah. I got that coming up in a little bit. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts spoke yesterday. Let's play it again. Jalen Hurts was asked about the A.J. Brown situation. And if you did not see the video and you've not heard the clip yet, you're going to hear him take a sip of water. This was not him taking the sip of water to try to delay and figure out an answer. It was just horrific timing because there were like 4 or 5 questions asked in the press conference about Sean Mannion's offense and some of the new weapons that he's getting to know, some of the draft picks, Mekhi Lemon, Eli Stowers. And then as he's taking the sip of water was when the A.J. Brown question started. So here's the little back and forth between Jalen Hurts and some members of the media.
If A.J. is traded, how would that affect the offense? How would that affect you?
Picked the right question to sip on, huh? No, I think for us, we're focused on learning the offense. It really doesn't change in terms of our approach to improve. There's an if. Obviously been a lingering thing, but nothing can replace all the greatness that we achieved together.
Jalen, a lot's been made of your relationship with AJ in regards to this trade. Where are you two at, I guess? I know friendship is complicated.
Yeah, nothing's changed since we last spoke at the end of the season. We're really good, and I saw how beautiful the pictures came out at his wedding. I'm very happy for him and his wife and his family, and it's a beautiful thing to step into covenant. So I was very excited and congratulatory towards that.
All right, so before we ask you our question that we have for the audience today, Davis on the text line, voice memos, you name it, and it's also our poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Donna Pell and Iron Mountain Men's Health because they keep that poll strong for 4 hours, man. How did you take that back and forth, Jalen Hurts, and the way he handled it?
Yeah, I took it well. I mean, he answered those questions as you would expect someone who's as savvy as Jalen Hurts to answer. He was honest in his answers, and I thought he put a nice bow on it. If this is the last time we're going to get a chance to hear from him on A.J. Brown, I thought that he conducted himself as expected.
All right. Now you know how the game works.
Love that answer.
Oh, it was a great answer.
I thought it was his human age that he came off so human, so relaxed, so comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That it was great to see Jalen just being.
It was authentic.
Yes.
Yeah, it absolutely from the water on, like
the
it was.
Water was
it was
now
authentic.
The slurping was interesting.
Well, I think he knew what he was doing at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we have a question out there for our audience today because you know how the game works, right? You do this for a living. There will probably be a story that's dropped after the trade within a day or two. John has 72 hours. We have a bet with Johnny Marks. I put my money on John Kincade's side. My house. I put my house on the John Kincade bet that a story will drop within 72 hours after the trade about what went down.
Here come the details.
Who do you think will end up looking worse from the article? When somebody reads it, when you read it or John reads it or I read it, you put it down, you go, man, this guy came off a little worse than the other guy. And we're pinning it between the two. It's Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Who do you think will look worse when the article comes out?
Well, I mean, there's 3 sides to every story. That person's side, or one person's side, the other person's side, and what actually transpired. So it's going to be equal parts in my estimation, but I also believe that it all depends on what your perspective is going into it, right? I mean,
sure.
If you are someone who has a colored perception one way or the other, you're going to read it with some sort of bias. You're going to go into it reading with some sort of bias. So it's hard for me to answer, but to expect that one had more to do with it than the other, I think is a little naive. I mean, the reasonings for AJ not wanting to be a part of this comes down to the offense. To me, that's been really consistent. He's not going to be a consistent focal point in a low-volume passing attack. He values what he could potentially be. He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Is this the offense that's going to take him to that level? Does he foresee that? His actions would tell you that probably not. But I think that probably a little bit too much is read into that. I don't ever believe that it had anything to do with any personal dynamics.
See, I think it's going to be AJ. And the reason being, and I explained it to John and Connor. Connor actually had the same opinion as I did, or the same takeaway. I think there will be a bit, not saying all of it, but a bit of an orchestrated effort from the organization to get maybe more of a, hey, AJ's fault here, because AJ's leaving. Jalen's still here. There have been way too many articles that popped up out of nowhere about people whispering about Jalen Hurts. Even during the season, there was a 2-week stretch this past year where Jalen Hurts was like getting eviscerated from people. It would look horrible for the organization if Jalen Hurts looks like the bad guy in this. So I think when I put down the paper and I take a sip of my beer or whatever the hell I'm drinking while I'm reading this article, I think it's going to come out more so that A.J. Brown was like, not a villain, but if you were to put blame toward one person more so than the other, it would be A.J., because I think the Eagles as an organization will want it that way.
All I can say is that, from my perspective, AJ is beloved in that building. And just listen to what Saquon Barkley had to say about him. Mm-hmm. Listen to what any of the prominent Eagles offensive players, whenever they've been asked about AJ, have said about him. And he's a good teammate. He's someone who does a really good job of being able to form relationships with different groups in the locker room. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess it's all about, your perception of it and how you read it. But I can tell you that he was someone that was beloved in there.
I believe in the stories when they come out, there will be questioning of, you will read something about the questioning of his effort on plays in games. Now, whether it's by teammates, coaches, and otherwise, that will be part of the story.
So I've heard you say this a few times, and I think it's a little revisionist history, because you boil it down and you're probably talking about the 49ers game. What's another game?
I'm trying not to think of the specific game.
That's all that I'm like. There's nothing that really comes front of mind.
The 49ers game is the lasting memory. And, oh, by the way, it's a playoff game. But there were other games. There was the one
where Troy Aikman said if he extends himself, the Chargers game. Troy Aikman says in the Chargers game, if he extends himself, that's a catch for most wide receivers. Like, is that he caused an interception?
There was a
for
couple
Jalen.
of plays throughout the course of the year where it looked like he slowed
down. Troy
the
questioned him on the Monday night broadcast.
Look, I'm not going to make excuses for AJ, but there is a lot that goes into certain plays. I'm not going to dispute that there weren't maybe instances of that, but you can misread passes and underrun some things. I mean, they happen. I mean,
of course,
this hasn't been a prevailing theme all of a sudden, like over the full course of his career in Philadelphia. I feel like this is something that a spotlight is on it now, that it's apparent that he's going to be on his way out. Now everyone seems to be looking for certain moments where, he did that, he did this, he didn't necessarily sell out on that play.
There are some similar themes, though, to his displeasure with his departure from Tennessee. And in Tennessee, it was painted as he's with a bad organization, so he's getting to a better organization, yet some similar themes are going from that organization to this one. His displeasure with the offense, his displeasure with what he's getting. When you go back and you read when he was leaving Tennessee and how they depicted him, there are some similar themes personality-wise. He's a guy who maybe just can't – there are people in life who can't be perfectly happy.
I would agree with that.
I think
that's fine, because everybody's wired differently.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, you got to be a good teammate, though.
And he has been. I mean, by all accounts, he has been.
The Broncos game, Brendan Gunn.
Just for the conversation,
yes.
There's a play in the Broncos game, and there was a play in the Lions game. I just Googled it.
Broncos,
up. And again,
Lions.
It's how you perceive it. To your point, it's not like A.J. Brown has said, "Yeah, I gave up on that play," but they have been bad looks to the point where Eagles legend Jason Kelce also talked about it. There were a lot of reporters and former players that said maybe his emotions that was unhappy carried onto the field, and that's something that you never want to see happen.
And I think there's an element to that. There's the human element to that. Whether it's intentional or not. I mean, when you have a lot weighing on you, sometimes your focus is diverted a little bit when it shouldn't be. Your focus should always be on the task at hand. So I'm going to give some credence to that. But I also believe that when you see the social media posts, and I'm trying to rationalize what some may be thinking. You see the social media posts earlier in the year, and then you see some plays that AJ hasn't been coming up with. All of a sudden, you have this perception that he's not giving 110%.
Created by him.
Here's what I'll say to you is, before you spoke to him after the Tampa Bay game, before you ever got a chance to get to his locker and speak to him, he had already posted his cryptic messages to social media.
Right.
That's a guy who is not doing things the right way.
Well, I said that then, and
you did to your credit. But that's a guy who he created this mess. This is an AJ Brown mess.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to handle certain things, and I've never been one to ever take to social media for something like that. I think social media is.
You're not a big fan of it.
No, I don't. I don't even tweet that much during practice because I feel like when you do that, you miss certain key things. But yeah, that's not the way that I would have done it. But it's not a one size fits all. That's the way that he approached it, and. You saw how that sort of spiraled from there.
Yeah, and it became a distraction. And yes, you're right. Everybody talks about how much they love him, and I'm sure there's going to be somebody speaks either on the record or anonymously. Hey, we love that guy. He was a great teammate. Like there will be positive things about both AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts in this story. It's not going to be an end all be all, hit you over the head with a hammer.
Sure,
this is why this went down. But I imagine we learn a little bit more as to what maybe led to this disconnect because let's face it, this goes back a couple of years ago. Like the Brandon Graham going on the radio station saying they're not friends anymore, right? And
correct.
After the passing comment, right? That happened before they won the freaking Super Bowl. So I can only imagine as time went on how much that continued to boil over. So, Connor, what's the poll looking like now? Poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Abdon Appel. You can check it out, 975 The Fanatic.
Our question today is about who's going to come out looking worse from this situation when the story breaks. Who do you believe will be the one, A.J. Brown or Jalen Hurts? And 76% of our responders are saying A.J. Brown.
I'm shocked at that answer. Are you shocked at that poll response?
That AJ's going to come out.
That 3 out of 4 say
you thought more Jalen.
Absolutely, I did. I'm completely incorrect of what I thought.
Yeah, I guess. Like I haven't really given that a lot of thought, but yeah, I think maybe my view is a little different on this, guys, because I've been around AJ for 4 years, and you get a sense for how valued he is in that building and how much his teammates really appreciate him, and you've seen the dominance. For example, you guys.
I've appreciated him. I don't want him to leave.
I think they're disappointed. I think they're disappointed that it's ending this way.
It shouldn't be.
I think everybody in the building's going, we don't want it to end this way.
He should be the franchise leader.
But he did this. He burned the building down. This is him. They're saying, I don't think anybody in that building is going, damn, thank God this is over. I think they're saying, what the hell's wrong with this dude? Why are you ruining this party?
And here's the other thing, guys. I have, in my estimation, he still has some years left of dominance.
I do too. I don't want him to leave. I don't want it. I wish none of this happened. I wish the only football story this offseason was Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. Unfortunately, there were 2. It's that love affair and A.J. Brown. Those have been the 2 stories about football since the offseason started.
Yeah,
and it sucks.
Unfortunately.
It should never have happened. It should never have happened. They should have won the Super Bowl, been happy, period.
But he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy 4 days after them winning the Super Bowl. He was out there with the negative messaging. It was, I don't know. I thought it would feel different.
You want it?
Yeah, I want mine.
All right.
Yeah.
Next year, hopefully.
It's the Michael Jordan, competitor's mentality, man. Some people always want to strive
Michael
for
Jordan's
more.
already been taken. That's Jalen. All right.
But Michael Jordan, though, was all about creating everybody around him to be the team and to make sure that the team, knowing what the team had to do to get it done.
Right, but I think what's getting lost here is that it seems like maybe you believe that there should be a universal view of how someone should approach their job. Everybody's different. Everybody's wired differently, and I'm wired differently than you and Andrew. And AJ is driven. He's won a championship, but he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and he wants to see that through. He believes that he can still dominate, and everything that we've seen would indicate that he still can. So is this going to be the offense that's going to maximize his ability on a week-in, week-out basis?
And I think, though, you're absolutely right. And there are things that I will absolutely say have to be standards. There are standards of professionalism that have to be. And if I was running an organization, I would say, guys, you're not teenage kids. You're not on your Instagram trying to be divisive right after we just went to 4-0. We're celebrating as a team because we're the defending Super Bowl champs. We're 4-0, and we just won a tough game at Tampa. I would expect professionalism out of players and everybody in my organization, and I would demand nothing less.
Yeah, right. It is atypical, but you're seeing a lot more in today's, social media world where that's become commonplace. AJ's not the exclusive to this.
It's just different because they won. Like, I've seen players pop off on social media because they're upset with the situation and they're also losing. They won.
The only thing,
and he still went to social media. And to me, and look, I'm looking at it from my perspective. I want everyone. They won the Super Bowl. Let's just bask in that and continue to try to win more. And he was upset with it.
And when you say commonplace, and it is, we see more of it. I absolutely agree with that. But I would push back on, I do not believe it is commonplace behavior.
Oh, I do.
I think
more often than not, you're starting to see social media, that be the common practice where frustrations are being vent there. You're seeing everybody put every detail about what they're doing day to day, let alone their frustrations and things like that.
I can tell you, I can think of very few Philly athletes where I've seen Philly athletes if I was just to go the last 6 years, that I've seen take their gripes with the organization, take
Bryce
their
Harper.
gripes right to the
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
No, Bryce Harper does it in an interview. Take it to a.
Well, he made
I'm
sure
going
he
to-
took
not
it.
elite.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, he
I'm
made
gonna
sure
go to
that there
thing.
was a photographer there to take the
Oh,
picture
absolutely. No, it is.
of the not
wait, I
elite
had
shirt.
no idea
But it's still,
I was wearing
but it's
that
not
shirt.
common. But again, that's the exception. That's not the rule. There's 24 other guys in the club, 26 or whatever, in the clubhouse with Bryce Harper. 26 of them don't do it the way Bryce Harper does it. Bryce Harper's the outlier.
Right.
A.J. Brown's the outlier. They are the guys who are doing it because they are me people. They are look at me people. That's what they want.
There's a lot of look at me people. Let me
want
tell
the
you, not
adulation.
just in sports.
They're looking at it.
All right. I want your full deep dive on your OTA observations because I have a question about Reek Woolen and all that kind of stuff that I want to get to, but I don't want to wait any longer. Could this change the narrative in Philadelphia sports? You have the opportunity to change the narrative of Philadelphia sports.
What do you got?
He's got power.
I read Dave Zangaro's piece this morning, some of his observations. Andy Dalton, second string, huh? As of yesterday.
Yeah, but on Tuesday, Tanner McKee was working with the twos.
But is there a competition for the second string quarterback?
No. And look, this is OTAs in the spring. It's for the rotation, the mixing and matching of personnel to give different looks and have quarterbacks work with different players and things like that. This is where you experiment. But Tanner McKee, as long as he's in Philadelphia,
because I just said Tanner Tom Brady McKee out there. If Andy Dalton beats him out, like that could change the narrative drastically. There's a lot of start Tanner people out there. You see it.
I do, yeah, I see
I'm
it.
saying
That's why social media. It's one of the reasons he doesn't like social.
if Andy Dalton becomes a second string quarterback, that changes a lot.
Look, social media guys. I mean, let me tell you,
You're right.
that's why I just post. That's why I just post my stories, and I just kind of cruise out of there.
I have told Andrew before. Hey, did you see that yesterday? Did you see some of the replies to what you? And he's like, no.
Yeah, well,
No.
Bill yesterday asked me if I saw the Bryce Harper toothpaste thing. I said, what? No.
Good for you.
I just move on with my day, man. I post my thing and get out of there.
Have you since seen it?
No. But Bill described it to me.
He sprays toothpaste into his mouth.
Your thoughts?
Ace Ventura did it first, though.
That is the truth. I never thought of that.
Coming up next, Andrew
Bill said that,
DeCecco at OTAs yesterday. Some of your observations. Reek Woolen's penciled in at CB2. I also have a financial strategy question for you, and it has nothing to do with my own bank account. It's about the Eagles. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Let's say you were looking to get engaged. Well, my friends at Benari Jewelers in Exton and Newtown Square, the place that you want to go. They've got one-of-a-kind rings that you're not going to get at those corporate big box jewelry stores. They've got thousands of handcrafted engagement rings to choose from, or you can get one custom designed. Look, as I've told you before, you're going to not find things you're going to find, like when you go to the mall, you're not going to find the stuff that you find at Benari Jewelers. But you're also not going to find the leading 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Benari Jewelers stands behind everything you purchase. and they're a direct diamond importer, so you can get the diamond she deserves and the ring she wants and still stay under budget. But your diamond's never going to lose value with that 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Plus, they've got so many diamonds to choose from and such great jewelry. So whether you're shopping for that engagement ring or whether it's a birthday or an anniversary or something like that, you're going to find special stuff at amazing prices with great customer service at Benari Jewelers, Exton and Newtown Square. Get a little online look at BenariJewelers.com.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A 115-year-old record falls. I'm Connor Thomas. Cristopher Sanchez set a new Phillies franchise record scoreless inning streak yesterday after throwing 7 more shutout innings. He passes Grover Cleveland Alexander, who held that mark since 1911. The Phils won the game 3-0, sweeping the Padres in San Diego, and Sanchez was clearly the highlight. He went the entire month of May without allowing a run. Here's how it sounded on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 7 shutout innings for Cristopher Sanchez. 5 consecutive starts of at least 7 shutout innings, which is also a new franchise record.
The Phils are off today, but they'll start a huge 3-game series in Los Angeles with the Dodgers tomorrow night. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts met with the media at Eagles OTAs yesterday. Of course, they were asked about A.J. Brown. Not anything crazy there, non-committal on the whole conversation, but we know June 1st is Monday, so we'll be watching the A.J. trade situation closely. The Hurricanes took down the Canadiens 4-0 last night to take a 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL. Andrew DeChecker remains with us for the remainder of the show. Herm Edwards will join us at 9:05. This update is brought to you by Foreman Mills. Philly, 2201 Cotman Ave is open, and the grand deals are still on at Foreman Mills. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the
Wonderful faces. Check out youtube.com/975 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
All right, it's 8:30 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Our man Andrew DeCecco in studio with us. Our question for you to answer on the Davis Honda text line. When this article drops eventually, whoever writes it, who do you believe will end up looking worse in this situation, Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown? 610-632-0975. We're also celebrating what Cristopher Sanchez did yesterday, making history, franchise record for the consecutive scoreless innings streak, surpassing Grover Cleveland Alexander, a 115-year-long streak that was finally snapped by Cristopher Sanchez. And one of our questions for you is, what other players come to mind when you think of, man, I did not see this one coming at all? Do you have one of those for the Eagles, Andrew? Because you are a guy who studies players from the day they get drafted, right? And, I think the way you are as an evaluator of talent, and I also think as a person, you usually look at, where this is at their best, this is what they can be. Mm-hmm. Are you ever truly surprised? Have you been surprised by any recent Eagles where you're like, wow, even I did not see that coming?
I'll give you a current one. Moro Jomo, drafted in the 7th round.
Great answer.
Pick number 249, played 66% of the defensive snaps last year after playing 37% the year before, had 6 sacks, and is on a upward trajectory. I believe that he's going to be someone that is going to command a considerable payday.
We talked about this yesterday, Milton Williams.
In the not-so-distant future.
Yeah.
So to get a player like that, and I remember tweeting this when the Eagles drafted him, that was my favorite day 3 pick. And watching him at Texas, he had really long arms, and he has a unique body type where he uses leverage to his advantage, plays with extreme violence. It translated really well, and credit to Morrow. He's taken to the coaching of Clint Hurt.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a really good story of development. Now, I didn't see this particular player play.
6 sacks last year?
Yes, but I didn't see this particular player play, but he's our guest, as I understand it, at 9:05. Herm Edwards wasn't drafted and started in every game that he appeared for the Eagles for 9 seasons.
All right. Yeah, good job, by the way. Herm Edwards joining us at 9:05.
I saw him play a lot. You
youngsters
youngsters did not get the pleasure of
he
seeing
didn't do
Herm
anything
Edwards.
special for the Eagles, did he?
I'm telling you.
All right. So, Andrew, you were at OTAs yesterday. What were some of your top observations that you took away?
Quite a bit of under center looks for Jalen Hurts. The ball was coming out of his hands quickly, and there weren't a lot of overly dynamic or explosive plays, but I think his best throw of the day was on a bullet to Dallas Goedert with defenders converging. A lot of running backs getting involved in the receiving game early, short dump off. Saquon Barkley had at least 2 or 3 receptions, had a really nice one along the sideline with Nolan Smith in coverage. But aside from that, you kind of just look to see different personnel groupings and where certain players are aligning, and maybe don't use that to form your opinion, but give you some context moving forward into training camp. So I'm looking at the second-team offensive line, and Miles Hinton, who's a tackle by trade, was lining up at left guard. So either he's cross-training there or he's moving to guard. And Drew Kendall was getting looks at the right guard spot. I view him as the Brett Toth replacement. The Eagles are giving him looks there, and they had Jake Majors at center. So I know I'm getting in the weeds here, but I look at things like that. And then you want to see how the young players like a Mekhi Lemon is incorporated. And he had a couple of catches early in the session, and he did have a drop on a crossing route, but those things happen. This is the ironing out period. This is the installation part of the offseason where you are working through some things. So I think there's a lot to glean from it, but you don't necessarily want to harp too much on any of the things that you see.
Too critical to think that I've never been the biggest fan of Saquon Barkley in the passing game.
Right.
Is that too critical?
You haven't been a fan because he's not a natural.
Yeah, I don't
pass
think
catcher.
he's great at it.
It
seems like he's
fighting the football.
Like he's
yesterday,
handling a grenade.
For what it was worth yesterday, he didn't look like that. But I do agree with you that he's just not, for all the great things that Saquon Barkley provides.
Yeah. Yes,
he's not a natural pass catcher.
He was a dropsy guy in New York. I remember that was like a complaint that Giants fans had that he dropped. And remember, was it week 4?
And
the Falcons game that he dropped, or was it week 3?
No, it was week 3 of the Falcons, that Monday Night Football game that he blew it. mean,
then, yeah, you're right.
He catches that.
And then there's moments like the Broncos game where he catches the wheel route for a touchdown.
Yeah,
there's
sure.
moments like the Green Bay Packers game.
The first touchdown of the season was that ridiculous
So
play.
he can do it. It's about being more consistent in doing it. Tank Bigsby, I don't necessarily view as a pass catcher. Will Shipley is. So they in an offense that you need to get the ball out quickly, I'm curious to see if they start to involve Saquon a little bit more in the receiving element, because that gives the quarterback an outlet, an option. And when you have to make split decisions, that's something that can really help. So can those short passes over the middle to your tight end, Dallas Goedert.
All right. I have a question for you that John and I discussed yesterday on post-show headlines. You can search it. Just search 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube. Go to the Kincade and Salciunas page. Post-show headlines. Bang. We talked some OTA stuff yesterday. Reek Woolen, $15 million. You know that you have Quinyon Mitchell.
I think it's 12.
12.
Yeah.
You have Quinyon Mitchell that's going to get paid eventually. Cooper DeJean's going to get paid eventually. Defensive front, there's already money there, and there's going to be more money there. Is safety becoming the new linebacker for the Eagles in terms of a financial decision? And what I'm saying is there's money tied up to linebacker now with Zach Bond.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to try to draft and develop young guys at safety because that might be the area where they're saving money, because you have to find it somewhere. You got to find a place to save money somewhere.
100%. You can't spend everywhere. They have a lot of money tied into defensive tackle. They gave Jordan Davis the extension. Jalen Carter, a big payday awaits him as well. Moro Jomo, he would appear, at least right now, to be the odd man out. He's on the final year of his rookie deal, and if he has a season like the one he just had, there's going to be teams lining up much in the way that they did for Milton Williams. Linebacker, you mentioned, there's a lot of money tied in. The secondary, there will be with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. You can't spend everywhere. So that's
Do you
where,
worry about that? Because Vic Fangio, we always hear how safety is such a big position. And, oh, by the way, the 2 years they go to the Super Bowl, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, both years they make the trade for him, then they make the free agent signing the second time around. They let Reed Blankenship walk for not that much money.
I'm shocked the amount that they passed on.
And now it's Drew Makuba who you drafted, so he's on his rookie deal, second-round player. And then there's like a competition. You can give me all the Cooper DeJean-based stuff.
Sure.
They're going to be in nickel majority of the time.
Yeah, they're in base at like 8 to 12, 15 snaps the most.
Yeah, like they're in nickel
yeah.
most of the time. Is that a concern considering how much safety is a big part of the Vic Fangio defense? And look, we've seen bad safety play. Sidney Brown was not good for them back there. That's why he's not here anymore.
Sure. And while I don't think that they're quite finished addressing that room, I'm still not expecting an all-pro or a Pro Bowl type of player. I will also say this. I don't necessarily think you have to go for the flashy name as much as it is certain intangibles that these players bring to the table. And what I mean by that, Andrew, is with Marcus Epps, he's instinctual.
Yeah.
High-level football IQ. There is a trust and a confidence that he's going to always be in the right spot. That maybe goes a little bit further for Vic Fangio than the tantalizing athleticism, this and that, because he has to trust you in order to put you on the field.
Right.
You can't be a high-variance type of player. Sidney Brown, who you mentioned, might be a good example there. Drew Makuba, high football IQ. He happens to have more range. He covers more ground. But if you look at the safeties in a Vic Fangio defense from years past, they all share certain intangibles in that they understand the game at a very high level. They're good communicators, and they rarely find themselves out of position. They're fundamentally sound. That's been a prevailing theme for all safeties in his defense.
I love the tantalizing athleticism.
That's great work, man.
Tantalizing athleticism.
It's great work. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line, Connor? You can feel the Davis difference. Just check them out in Burlington.
We actually have a voice memo here that we want to get to from Xavier from Newtown Square on the A.J. Brown conversation.
Good morning, guys. He's here from Newtown Square. Listen, a lot of this blame is going to go on A.J. Brown, and rightfully so. I'm a big A.J. Brown fan. I love the guy, but I don't like what he has been doing the last couple of years. I feel like it's very unnecessary. It's something that didn't need to do. It's something that he wanted, and just let him.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what they're doing at this point. They're going to trade him. The one thing I was thinking about this during the break, Andrew, and I don't like. I agree with everything that you're saying because I hear it too, right? A.J. Brown's a great teammate and all that kind of stuff. But I know we've talked about this in the past. Just how great of a teammate can you be if you definitely do you agree that he allowed his frustration to carry onto the field at times?
Yeah, that's the way that I read it.
Doesn't have to be that he gave up on routes. Just like His frustration went onto the field, and it may have impacted the way that he played.
Because I do believe that there's the human element to everything.
Well, and if that's the case,
like the outside perception, it seems largely, not everyone, but it seems like they're almost viewed as robotic. Like you have to be programmed to go out there and not have anything else particularly alter the way you're approaching it, anything outside, and that's just not the way that life works. There's a lot of things that sometimes factor in. Understandably, you have a job to do. You're getting paid well to do that, but I mean, it's the.
But if
human,
you're a teammate of his, doesn't that frustrate you?
Like if I was pissed at our boss, and I said,
you're going to be naturally distracted whether you realize it or not.
Yeah, but if I'm going to, but it's not going to cause me to behave a certain way that then affects Connor, Andrew. And
I told you guys,
that's a bad
I didn't agree. I don't agree with going to social media to do that. There's certain ways that you can go about addressing it, but that's what he did.
Yeah, but I almost want to say forget the social media. Like, you agree that it impacted him at times. And I would imagine that, especially in a playoff game, that if it impacted his play in a playoff game, I would be like, all right, I love the guy. I love him. But, man, this is exhausting. And I would imagine everybody's exhausted by it, right? Like, you would think that every player that was asked a question yesterday was like, hey, here we go. I got to do this again. Well, how many more days of this do we have?
But they all spoke glowingly about him. They didn't have to do that.
They
did it last year and the year before. They offer ringing endorsements, sometimes unprompted, and that to me tells a more accurate depiction of how he's viewed than maybe how he's viewed on the outside by a lot.
My guess is when we read the stories, you're going to hear how much his teammates and the organization think of him, the person, and how much he's loved the person.
Right.
And then you're going to hear about how, though at times he is incredibly exhausting as a teammate or an employee. I will make that as
that's your prediction.
As the prediction is that it will be, because there, especially in this industry, there's a lot of it. There's people you just love. You love them, but they're exhausting to work with.
That's what I say about Connor behind his back every day.
They're not going to bring the same energy or something. And for me, it is, as I can't deal. I would find it hard to do. I'd find it hard to do.
Well, we'll find out. The article will most likely drop next week, because I would imagine at some point next week the trade will happen where A.J. Brown is no longer a member of the Eagles. All right, speaking of, coming up next, Ian Rappaport had a kind of out-of-nowhere report on A.J. Brown. And disconnect, I guess, on where we're at. We played it earlier, but we'll get Andrew's thoughts on it. The latest from Ian Rappaport on A.J. Brown, and another report that says it might not be done on June 1st when I'm off. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
The Eagles have started OT. the Fanatic app.
It is 8:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic on this Thursday morning, which means Andrew DeCecco in studio for you. We also have a tweet from one Josina Anderson that I will bring up after we play this clip from Ian Rappaport, because we've reached the final moments before the trade happens. So we're starting to get, I don't know if it's silly season. I don't know if it's smoke. I don't know if it's, deflection and redirecting and don't look at the man behind the curtain. Like, I don't know exactly what it is, but clearly there's last-minute talks among, I think, other teams other than just the New England Patriots. Like, I think it's fair to think that there is an executive. The Jags came up last week. We had Jason Lock-and-4 on. Maybe there's an executive that's going, I do have a couple more days. Maybe we would want A.J. Brown, right? Like, maybe that thought has crossed the mind of other executives across football. We know that the Rams were really interested in A.J. Brown. So Ian Rappaport yesterday on the NFL Network was talking about OTAs. Like, Jalen spoke. They played the clip. They reacted to it. And then he took like a left turn and had this to say.
We're all waiting for June 1st to happen so the cap hit is in half for the Philadelphia Eagles and they could trade him. I just don't know that it's going to be like snap your fingers and the deal is done, because the two sides are where they have been, which is the Eagles wanting a first-round pick in 2027. The Patriots, the most likely destination. We'll see if someone else arises, but Patriots, the most likely destination, not being willing to give up a first-round pick as of right now. That means they're not particularly close, and, yeah, there's a chance this could drag on for the foreseeable future.
And so we were kind of confused early in the show. So he specifically says Eagles want 2027. As Adam Schefter has told us numerous times.
He says it's 2028.
2028.
And he has not even.
When Rappaport says they don't want to move a first-round pick, is he then saying the 2027 first-round pick, or is he saying that New England doesn't want to at all?
Probably 2027. But my understanding is what Adam has been saying on your guys' show.
For months.
For months.
2028.
2028 first round.
And he doesn't even, he has not blinked from that at all.
Yeah, no, he's not. I mean, he's literally going,
going
on a golf trip on June 2nd and 3rd.
What is funny to me is that now that we're closing in on that date, now you're hearing more teams. You're hearing some discrepancy with
content.
Yeah, I know.
We're running out of compensation. Guys, content. We need a new angle. What's the new angle on A.J. Brown today? Here, let's create some content.
All right. Well, there's another thing. That's all right, Connor. Don't worry about it. I was gonna have him play like John Cena's intro music, and I'll be like, "Wait, that's Josina Anderson's music," because she comes out of nowhere this morning. A league source tells me this morning that the Eagles and Patriots have recently grappled over the component of the total trade compensation for A.J. Brown that could now involve swapping of picks. With that said, over the last 7 days, my sense from various conversations is that New England is still casting good confidence an A.J. Brown trade will get done. But just to share a bit of the mental twisting that is always needling until a trade becomes officially executed, a league source also added this, quote, "This is still Howie Roseman we're talking about, and everyone's still going to hold all of their cards up until the start of June." So, yes, a concern always gets floated here and there in these things that someone could swoop in at the last minute, and it would be a deal that Philly couldn't refuse. So is there a team that's like now thinking maybe we can get in on this? I wouldn't put it past any you even said it, Andrew. You still think there's a lot of good football left for A.J. Brown.
I do. And a lot of times when you get into these OTA sessions, if you're a team that you felt pretty strongly about your group, maybe you get into these sessions and all of a sudden you're like, we're missing one piece. We could really use a top receiver, or someone like AJ could put this offense over the top. It's natural for teams to think that because he's still an elite player.
What if I'm just throwing a team out of nowhere? All right, like I don't think this has been reported once. I don't know what their cap situation is. I don't know what they're trying to do. The Carolina Panthers thought Xavier Leggett was going to be much more than what he's been.
Absolutely.
What if they go, you know what, with Tet, we got Tet on one side, we get A.J. Brown on the other, Bryce Young, we need to really find out, are we about to pay this guy? Let's bring in A.J. Brown. Like, why wouldn't a team like Carolina all of a sudden?
Because they're paying Jalen Phillips $800 billion.
Yeah. I know. That was just a team that came to my mind. But why wouldn't there? We mentioned the Jags. Man, we paid Trevor Lawrence, and we're finally starting to see Trevor Lawrence become the guy that we expected when we drafted him when we did. Could really use another weapon for him.
Or maybe the team like the Chargers would make some sense as well. If you believe that you're a piece away,
sure.
I mean, AJ is going to take your offense to another level, regardless of where he goes. But I still believe that the most likely destination is New England.
I agree. I'm not surprised that now all of a sudden it might take another couple days because maybe Howie's phone rings and he goes, "Oh, what is this area?"
I would tell you though, is if Howie did make a wink handshake agreement, and then he reneged on it.
Oh, it could be bad.
It would be really bad, and I don't believe he would ever do that. I don't believe he'd ever do that because your reputation. He has a great reputation.
He sure does, yeah.
With his peers, even though they're very leery to deal with him. He has a great reputation in his industry.
What if the Titans want Cam Ward to have A.J. Brown?
There you go.
He knows the area pretty well.
There you go.
See you in
That's not going to be the offense that
I'd love nothing. I'd love nothing better.
I know.
I'd love nothing.
Why?
Better. I'd enjoy it.
But let me ask you why.
I'd enjoy it. Because,
but what would you enjoy about it?
Because I love it when I would love to see it if someone pulls a power play and they don't get what they want. I love it. I love it. You pull a power play, you try to disrupt something that's going well, all for your personal gain and your personal ambitions. You disrupt a 4-0 football team, a Super Bowl champion football team for your own personal ambitions. I absolutely would enjoy seeing you not get what you want.
You aren't doing a parade on Broad Street. You aren't doing your show from a parade if A.J. Brown isn't on the Eagles.
Wouldn't argue that at all. But I can absolutely believe they could have another one without him.
Look, I finally reached the point of
there's no doubt in my mind, none, that the Eagles could be in the Super Bowl next year if A.J. Brown leaves. If A.J. Brown leaves on Monday, there is zero doubt in my mind that Howie Roseman can build a team, that they can coach a team, that they can create a team that could win the NFC and get to the Super Bowl.
But my point is that you're sort of discrediting what A.J. has done for this franchise. You don't have a Super Bowl without his contributions,
no, I'm talking
and
about
now
what
you
he
want to
did
send
this
him.
Past year.
You want to send him to the worst possible destination.
No, I'm talking about what he did this
you're an
year.
Eagles fan.
No, I'm talking about what he did this year. I said they were 4-0. They were the defending Super Bowl champs, and he decided to he was 3 days after a Super Bowl, and he started this campaign.
But there's no space in you that's like, at least there's something left from the good times.
No, I'm always good. No, if you ask me about A.J. Brown, I'm going to say I just acknowledged it there. I'm always going to acknowledge that A.J. Brown was great and was a huge part of what the Eagles accomplished
10-year Super Bowl
in his tenure.
ceremony. He gets
and you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to continue to be amazed by people who cannot find happiness and joy in being a part of something when they just want it to be all about them.
I'd love to see A.J. on the Rams. I really think that he would thrive in that.
I don't want to see him on the Rams.
I'm going to tell you this.
At all.
I can tell you this. Sean McVay would lose his freaking mind with someone with his mentality.
I would lose my mind.
I don't think he would because that offense would be humming.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen at all, Andrew. Please don't put that into existence. All right, coming up next, Herm Edwards will join us to talk about the Eagles. Herm, I still remember last year, it was like, oh, you Philadelphia fans are crazy. They're winning games. Well, the offense sucked. What does he think about this Eagles team going into 2026? We'll get a better understanding of that next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A century in the making. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's how long the scoreless inning streak for the Philadelphia Phillies franchise has stood. Until yesterday, that is. Cristopher Sanchez set a brand new one, throwing 7 more shutout innings against the Padres in a 3-0 win. The Phils swept the Padres, and Sanchez now has the longest such streak in Phillies franchise history. He also went the entire month of May without allowing a single run. It's an unbelievable stretch for him. And the Phils have now won 3 straight. They're off today, but start a huge 3-game series in Los Angeles with the Dodgers tomorrow night. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts met with the media at Eagles OTAs yesterday. And, of course, Hurts was asked about A.J. Brown. What's going to happen with the offense if he is indeed traded? Here's what Hurts had to say.
And I think for us, we're focused on learning the offense. It really doesn't change in terms of our approach to improve. There's an if, obviously been a lingering thing, but nothing can replace all the greatness that we achieved together.
Now, June 1st is the date where the post-trade of that would be more beneficial cap-wise for the Eagles, and that's on Monday. So we'll be watching the A.J. situation closely over the next couple of days. The Hurricanes beat the Canadiens 4-0 last night, taking a 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL. Don't miss it. Coming up next, Herm Edwards is going to join us. Andrew DeCecco stays with us as well. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Connor, what separates Middays with Marks from other middays? Hear what they got into earlier today on Kincade and Salciunas.
Where does Cristopher Sanchez rank for you among some of the greatest stories in Philadelphia sports history? Nobody expected this. Like, nobody expected this kind of performance by Cristopher Sanchez for now 3 years. We've gone from, could this guy be a helpful piece in the bullpen, to, oh my God, this guy's going to be a year-in, year-out Cy Young candidate.
He's out of left field. Like, nobody saw this, and he is somebody who has worked his craft to become what he's become.
That's the big thing. He's added to his repertoire. Remember, he
Every year,
was really
seems
just
like
a
he's
two-pitch
adding to
pitcher
it.
to start. It was that fastball and that changeup, but he's added to his repertoire, and he's been fantastic. There was 2 questions back-to-back about A.J. Brown directed to Jalen Hurts. So he handled it perfectly. The sipping of the water, which was
I love that.
Just horrific timing, but he played it off.
It was perfect.
Perfect, right?
Fantastic.
But he puts it out there perfectly. They accomplished so much, and it still was not enough for one person.
For one person.
And that's a shame.
And the one person is A.J. Brown. The one person is not Jalen Hurts. And that's the bottom line. One person is unhappy. One person is not pleased. One person's not getting their glory. One person's not getting their attention. And that's A.J. Brown. I believe also that we will find out when this story comes out that though the relationship is not the same, the relationship is not fractured to the level that many want to believe that it is.
Now back to the show.
So what we've been talking about today, one thing that was not in the little recap there, Sean Rodman let us know something. Sean the Furry, love Sean. The beauty of YouTube, watching the show on YouTube, and we have the comment section, we have the YouTube community where people are going back and forth sports-wise, or sometimes have nothing to do with what we're talking
Lifestyle,
about. And that's beautiful.
fun.
I love it. I love that a community has been built. You can go back and watch on YouTube. Like,
sure.
It's 9 a.m., but if you want to see the start of the show, you can. You can go back to 6 o'clock and hear what we were saying at the start. So earlier, right around 7 o'clock this morning, we had a caller. It was a tinfoil cap Thursday call where he believed.
Is that a thing now?
And I'm making it one, damn it.
It sort of becomes it at times.
He believed that the Eagles hired Sean Mannion out of spite because A.J. Brown wanted the passing offense to improve. So they said, okay, we'll trade you, but we're going to hire Sean Mannion now because we want to spite you, A.J. Brown. That was what Miguel said earlier today. Now we have Justin in Tampa who wants to chime in.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Justin?
What's up, Justin?
Hey, I'm here to start some drama.
What's going
What's
on,
up?
man?
Now, I'm from Conchie, but I moved to Tampa 5 years ago.
That's all right. I don't blame
Good job,
you, man.
buddy.
All right, so honestly, this whole train of thought started last week with John, and I wanted to call in, but I'm working mornings, so I'm kind of busy. So it's a two-part question. So first part was, should there be more of an indictment against Howie and Lurie for allowing Patullo to take that position when they knew that he was going to fail?
I don't think they should be scot-free. I can't say knew that he was going to fail, but I don't think they should be scot-free. But let's face it, Nick Sirianni won a Super Bowl, and they allowed Nick Sirianni to hire who he thought was best for his coaching staff. So I would look to Sirianni before I would look at Howie and Jeff. That's my opinion.
What did Mike McDonald do in Seattle this past year? Because there's a great piece this week that you can go and you can check out where they talked to 36 people for their offensive coordinator position. 36.
Yeah, and that's why I blame
when
Sirianni.
I say talk to, they didn't interview. They did Zooms and things like that. So they
Gauge
really
their
did.
interest,
It's not like they did deep interviews and everything like that. But they turned over every rock to say, are we getting the right person to be the OC for the defending Super Bowl champions?
All right, so what's part two, Justin?
So part two, to me, is like Howie, giving him a rope, let Sirianni hang himself, because it's like, we knew this guy is not going to make it, but what we really want is not available this year. But they may have had a list of who they wanted. They were not available last year, and maybe Mannion was on that list. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's like Howie is this guy is like the best when it comes to taking it far ahead.
Yeah,
and,
I highly doubt that
necessary.
they punted last year. Waiting for the next candidate, Justin. I appreciate the call. That's our second tinfoil cap theory of the day. There is no way that Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles said, you know what? We're going to wait till next year to really try. We're just going to hire Patullo to keep the seat warm.
So basically what he was saying is they punted on last season and burned a season with that window being very much open.
For Sean Mannion, yeah.
To prove a point. Come on.
Well, it wasn't to prove a point. It was because their guy wasn't available yet. And they knew that he would be available.
They knew that Sean Mannion was going to, okay.
Yeah, that's the second. Which theory do you like more? The out-of-spite hiring of Mannion to spite A.J. Brown, or they punted a year to wait for Sean Mannion? You have to pick one.
That's more ridiculous. They're punting the season is more ridiculous.
Which one do you like more?
They're both ridiculous. I'm not going to give any. I'm not going to give any time to that.
I like the A.J. Brown one more. I like the out-of-spite. Yeah.
I mean, they just don't make sense. They're laughable.
Of course they don't make sense.
Wow.
Try to have some fun with it. Connor, which one do you like more? Do you like the A.J. Brown? What?
I'm trying to get a hold of the coach here.
I know. Well,
I would say the one that's the most ridiculous is that they would punt on if you talk what's most ridiculous.
Yeah, I like the A.J. Brown one more. We hired him out of spite because there's no way you're punting a season. That's never happening. All right, we're awaiting Coach Herman Edwards to join the show. And Herm, we'll talk about it. Herm last year was very surprised by some of our takeaways with the Eagles offense. What do you mean? Like they're winning football games. And that's a national media versus localized, like we're living it day in, day out. The Eagles offense was the reason why they ended up losing. The Eagles offense is the reason why they ended up failing. What their goals were, what their beliefs were of being a Super Bowl contender, they lost in the first round of the NFL playoffs. And hell, they had to play in the first round of the playoffs because of the offense. Like if the offense was middle of the pack passing last year,
oh my gosh,
they may have been the 1 seed for all we know.
They could have been.
That defense was good all season long. They had every chance to be the 1 seed. So I'm curious what Herm thinks about this Eagles offense moving forward. Not that we've really had the chance to see it, but bringing in new ideas versus working on what has worked. And that's something that was a conversation we had. Was that last week that we talked about that? Were you here when we had that discussion?
I think so,
It was when Mannion spoke. Oh, Mannion spoke later that day. We talked about it Friday. The idea of trying to mix in his beliefs with what has worked with the Eagles or revamping the offense altogether.
The one thing I'd love to hear from Andrew on real quickly is the idea of I haven't enjoyed when the term meshing is used.
Well, I knew that when you were the first person I thought of.
I don't enjoy the term meshing.
But here's the thing. It goes back to the revisionist history. To suggest that the Eagles didn't have any success offensively, they should scrap everything and rebuild from the foundation up is a little short-sighted. There are elements that worked,
right?
And to expect a completely new implementation of an offense in a span of a couple months is just not realistic.
I'm dumping the whiteout bucket.
First off, I will say that is never something that I said, so I did not ever make that argument as to the meshing. The meshing is the idea is that I want Sean Mannion to be hired to do a job and to be allowed to do it. I want this to be his offense. And what I was told, and was told by the owner of the team, was in quotations, on a microphone by Howie Roseman, was that he was being given autonomy. Whoever was hired was going to be given the autonomy to do what they saw fit. When I hear meshing, it's being told, you get to do what you see fit, but you have to implement some of the old stuff.
But did you listen to what Jalen Hurts had to say? Sean Mannion, he loved some of the things that they did last year.
That's good, and I like that if that's the case. I don't want to hear that Sean Mannion has too many cooks in the kitchen.
All right, well, let's
There's
talk
no reason
about
to jump to that conclusion.
Let's talk about it with our next guest. Joining us now here on Kincade and Salciunas on this Thursday, where Andrew the Checo's in the studio with us. From ESPN, our man Herm Edwards. Herm, good morning, Coach.
How are you folks doing?
We're doing
interested in your conversation you're having. And this happens all the time when you hire a new coach, and obviously if you hire a coordinator on either side of the ball. But on offense, for me, I was just over listening what you guys were talking about. Both of you guys are making pretty good points, but maybe the most important point is, what is the quarterback going to do? Because it doesn't matter about Sean, what he wants to do. What can the quarterback do? What does the quarterback feel comfortable doing? It's his offense. It's quarterback. Because if you put a quarterback in an offense that he's not comfortable running, the quarterback fails, the offensive coordinator fails, and everybody gets fired. So at the end of the day, you can have everybody has the same plays, by the way. There's no new plays. Okay, there's really not. Everyone has the same plays. So what does a quarterback feel comfortable doing? And to his credit, this guy has dealt with a lot of different guys in his ear. And that says something about him. And I think sometimes Eagle fans don't realize that. What can the quarterback do? What does he like? Situational football, what does he like? First downs, what does he like? It's about the quarterback, guys. All that other stuff don't matter. And when it doesn't go right, like you said, there's clinks, there's chunks. What's wrong? And then all the conversations start. Oh, there's a schism in the locker room. It's just, hey, if you can't fix the quarterback and you don't understand what he likes, you're going to have a problem.
All right, so let's talk about the quarterback then, because you just said if you can't fix the quarterback. So the last 2 years, even though they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so I'm going to sound like such a spoiled brat here. 2 years ago,
Coach.
The passing offense was one of the worst in the NFL, but they were so dominant on the ground that it didn't even matter. Last year, they weren't as dominant on the ground, so they needed to rely on the passing offense, and it didn't work. So is Sean Mannion here to try? Like, you could say it's what the quarterback likes, but if the quarterback hasn't really been that efficient or effective in the passing offense the last 2 seasons, then what is Sean Mannion supposed to do with that style of quarterback where it hasn't really worked passing-wise in the last 2 years? Obviously, the team has been successful, but his individual performances have not been that great.
Well, did you guys watch him play defense last year?
Yes.
You think that don't affect the quarterback? When the quarterback's in a known situation where I'm trying to catch up all the time?
Mm-hmm.
That's not good, last time I checked. You want to dictate the terms when you play football, and it starts with your offense. Your offense You can't sit there in the middle of the second quarter and say, oh, man, we're down already, man. We got to start throwing this thing, chunking it, try to catch up. So, you could put some of this lays on the defensive side of it too now. They went out and they need to fix that. This wasn't the same defense now. So you say what you want, and I get it because the quarterback's quarterback. Quarterback gets all the blame. Quarterback and head coach get all the blame. I get it. And he's a really good quarterback. I mean, he's a really good quarterback. But when the defense is humming and playing like at the caliber they can play at, who cares if they ran the ball? They won a Super Bowl. Hmm? See, Philly's spoiled now. They're spoiled. They just think, oh, every year we're supposed to go. No, it don't work like that. It really don't work like that. And right now, this quarterback has got different coordinators. Okay. He just sits there. But when the defense, the way it played last year, we got problems, boys. We had problems. Did you watch the defense play last year? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys ain't even talking about that. You talking about the quarterback. You talking about this offensive coordinator.
Well, I thought the defense was one of the best in the NFL last year. Yeah.
Win. In big games? Win. Really? Really? You think so? Okay.
Not in the playoff game they weren't.
Oh, what'd you say? Not
in the playoff game, they were not.
I would still look toward the offense.
No, they were not.
A little bit more in
San
Francisco. The San Francisco game.
In the playoff game, they put the team behind the 8 ball on the very first drive. They got smoked, and put the team offensively behind the 8 ball on the very first drive. And then they got smoked again. Kyle Shanahan made them look stupid in the fourth quarter on a touchdown.
He'll do that to many.
With a beat up team.
Yeah, he did. He came in with third stringers and was doing it. Come on now. Let's be honest. Coach is making a point here. The defense did not have a good game in that playoff game.
Yeah, if the Eagles' offense had somewhat of a game, I thought they'd win that playoff game, but it's okay.
Yeah.
That was a bunch of third stringers came in and beat you.
Look, the Eagles have a fine football team. They will be in the playoffs again this year. They caught a little bit of a break in the fact that the Washington, I'm calling them the Redskins. I know the Commanders. The quarterback went down, right? He's out. Quarterback out. So that helped them with that guy being out. And I know that guy. That guy plays for me. He's really good. But he got to stay healthy. So that helped them with Washington. Dallas is Dallas. Dallas is number one offense in the league. They can't stop anybody. Mm-hmm. Now, can they fix the defense? They fix the defense. They can play with anybody. They have the number one offense in the league. They just can't stop anybody. But can they get it fixed? Now, does Hardball change the mindset of the Giants? I think he does. I think the Giants will be improved. So Philly all of a sudden is in a conference it's going to get better. It's going to get better now.
Coach, how would you have thought about the performance when you watched the performance of A.J. Brown last year? Mm-hmm. And how would you have coached a disgruntled player in your day as a head coach, and how would you have dealt with that as a teammate, a disgruntled player?
I think when there's always some guys, that might be a little irritated in certain situations, and you know that, okay? But when it becomes every day, it becomes tiresome. Everybody gets tired of the noise. Even the players. Now, the players might not say that, but you sense it, you know it. And, he's a guy very talented. But, he has to understand that he's not bigger than the team. And no player bigger than the team at the end of the day. I don't care how good they are. He's really good. But we've seen this before, right? we've seen this. This is the history of the NFL. That all of a sudden you have this great player, and all of a sudden just doesn't mix it, and guess what? Is it the team or is it the player? It's the team. It's not an accident that the Philadelphia Eagles' first-round pick was a wide receiver, and they picked up 2 more guys. Why'd they do that? You only can play so many receivers, and you got the one guy that wants the ball all the time. Well, they just brought in 3 receivers. One of them's a first-round pick. So figure it out.
This seems like an appropriate question for you, but the Eagles signed Reek Woolen in free agency. Based off of what you've seen, what were your impressions of Reek over his first 4 seasons, and how do you envision his fit in Vic Fangio's defense?
Well, I think that you know, anytime you get a player of his caliber, of his talent, I mean, Coach Fangio is going to find a way to use the guy. I mean, and look, he's going to a team where he feels like if he's the player, he's exciting. I mean, if you're a player and you're selected or brought in as a free agent and you go to the Philadelphia Eagles, you're excited. You got a chance. See, everybody thinks they have a chance when training camp starts. Everybody, oh, we got a chance. No, you don't. There's about 10 teams at the end of the day. There's 10 that really got a chance. Eagles got a chance, and they know it. And every player in the NFL knows it. Every player in the NFC knows the Eagles. They're top 3 teams, right? They are. They just are. And you can say what you want. All teams have holes. But when you look at the Eagles, they go, yep, because what do? They always do the playoffs. They find a way to win games. They got a good team. The pressure's not too big when they get in the playoffs. It's not too big for them. I mean, if you're one of those guys and you're coming to that place, you're going, man, shoot, I'm going to a team who's got a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Coach, we appreciate the time this morning. Thank you, as always, for coming on, and I know that we will be talking to you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
My pleasure, man. Thank you.
There he is.
He knows you brats exist. You spoiled brats.
Yeah.
He knows it.
Respectfully, I completely disagree with the analysis on the defense. We couldn't do that debate for 10 minutes. The defense was not the problem. And I get the 49ers game, they weren't perfect, but if the Eagles offense was competitive, they win that football game.
Yeah, the defense was
because they're playing third stringers.
The defense was put in difficult spots all last season. And they were on the field for a considerable amount of time, and they bailed that offense out on more occasions than not. So yeah, I don't agree with that sentiment. If you want to look at the postseason game against the 49ers, yeah, I mean, but that was just a flat performance across the board.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can base it off of statistics or eyes, whatever you want to do. Statistically, they were a top 5 defense in the NFL last year.
They were really good. They were really I mean, at times they were great.
It was the driving force of that team, and I believe that it will be the driving force of the 2026
If that defense is middle of the pack last season, they are a sub-500 football team.
I think they're like 6-11.
Yeah, that aside, though, really interesting, the conversation on what you guys were on before he joined us, which was how you handled the blend. Like, throw everything out but the quarterback. That's very much putting a lot on this year is Jalen Hurts' year and nobody else's. And
why have we been talking about the Eagles setting up a quiet, prove-it year for Jalen Hurts? Look, I get it. They won the Super Bowl, and it sounds so spoiled, right? That they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
They won the Super Bowl. Their passing offense sucked for the majority of that season. Their passing offense sucked all of last season, right?
And the year before.
So at some point, you're going to go, all right, well, why? Why is this happening? And so if it's the quarterback, that is a big conversation to have because eventually you're going to be paying him you're already paying him a lot of money. You're going to pay him, $57.5 to $60 million a year in his next contract negotiation?
Oh, you are.
It's why this year is so important for Jalen Hurts and his career moving forward. He's going to be an NFL quarterback regardless. If the Eagles say, we don't want him anymore, he'll get signed by somebody, and he's going to make a lot of money.
Signed by somebody? There'll be a feeding frenzy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But when it comes to the Eagles this year, the Eagles are setting up a prove-it year because of kind of what Herm Edwards was talking about, what we have been talking about. The offense has been the passing offense. Specifically.
Yeah.
It's not been that great.
I have an interesting takeaway from the Jalen Hurts presser that we'll talk about coming up here that I think will be encouraging for Eagles fans out there.
All right, we'll get that next. We will also tell you that 75% of the country is on the same page about something. And, John,
that never happens.
When was the last time you ever heard that?
That never happened.
75% of the United States of America is on the same page about something. We'll tell you what it is next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Sanchez makes history. I'm Connor Thomas, and Christopher Sanchez set a new Phillies franchise record scoreless inning streak yesterday after throwing 7 more shutout innings in the win over the San Diego Padres. 3-0 was the final. 3-0 was the final for the series. It was a sweep by the Fightins, and Sanchez was the highlight yesterday. Not only did he surpass Grover Cleveland Alexander's mark set back in 1911, he went the entire month of May without allowing allowing a run. Here's how it sounded on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 7 shutout innings for Cristopher Sanchez. 5 consecutive starts of at least 7 shutout innings, which is also a new franchise record.
The Phillies are off today, but start a huge 3-game series in L.A. with the Dodgers tomorrow night. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts met with the media at Eagles OTAs yesterday as they continue their offseason work. Of course, they were asked about A.J. Brown. Hurts talked about enjoying the times that they had and respecting that, but the question is still when and how will he be traded? June 1st is Monday, so we'll be watching the A.J. situation closely. Hurricanes beat the Canadians 4-0 last night, taking a 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL. Andrew DeCecco will remain with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by thereamteam.com. Unbeatable savings are on now with 0% for 60 months with approved credit on select Ream air conditioners. Hurry to thereamteam.com and lock in your savings today. I'm Connor Thomas for them of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Silvana. Weekdays with Marks. Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right, it's 9:31 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. 75% of people in the United States agree on something. I don't know the last time we've ever heard that.
Not anymore.
We'll get to that in a moment. But, Andrew, you had a takeaway from what Herm was saying about Jalen Hurts and Sean Mannion fixing Jalen Hurts. I mean, he said, fix the quarterback. Those were his words. Now, he also talked about the defense in a way that I didn't agree, but he talked about fixing the quarterback, and we have talked about this potential quiet prove-it year that the Eagles are setting up. So what was your takeaway?
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was going with the defensive opinion there, but that's whatever. But I think my takeaway from Jalen Hurts' presser, one of the things that he said was when asked about under center, and he mentioned you can throw any quarterback under center, but why are you doing it? What are you contemplating? What's your MO?
Sure.
And so what I think some realize, but everyone should understand, is that if you're an offensive mind and you're able to articulate your vision and have reasoning and the whys behind your asking behind why you're asking him to do something, you're going to have Jalen Hurts' ear. Mm-hmm. And Sean Mannion, in our initial introductory to him last week, to me, he conveys that teaching element, the fundamentals, and a way to present it in a way that you're going to get that collective buy-in. Now, I understand that these are just words until it's enacted on the field. I totally understand that. But I think there's a lot of reason for optimism there. And you could see, you're never going to see Jalen look overly elated. But to me, sitting there, you could see someone who seemed refreshed with this new iteration.
He also said he was excited weeks ago. And I know some of them might go, oh, well, he's just saying that. He didn't say that about Patullo.
No,
like when Patullo was first being rumored, this was the day of the day before the parade. He was like, yeah, that'll be a different role for him.
No, that would be. No, he went, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He seems excited.
Yes.
About Mannion.
But he said he's answering all my questions. Yeah. So
and he's able to explain things to me. I'm a guy who wants answers to questions, and he's able to explain to me the why. By the way, I love that. I love somebody who doesn't mind being challenged, and obviously Mannion doesn't mind being challenged to go, here's why we're doing it, and I'll explain it to you.
And I think because of that, you're seeing that receptiveness, I guess, to the newness.
Yeah.
And so right now, that's what we have to go off of, but it is encouraging as they look to move forward with a completely, well, not a completely, but a drastically different offensive approach.
All right, I'm fascinated with this next conversation we're about to have. John sent this to us yesterday, and I can't wait.
I wondered where you would fall on it, and I knew he'd be in. Andrew DeCecco, and I wanted to know where he'd fall.
And I can't wait because
Connor,
we have different generations here. We have different lifestyles here. We have different places of our lives here.
I thought Connor would immediately be in the 25%. So, Connor, I assumed you would end up in the 25% of this.
Wow,
I'll
really?
fight that
I
fight.
thought he'd be 75.
Really?
I don't
thought
even know
Connor
what it
would be
is
in the
yet.
25.
What's going on here?
All right, here's what it is. 27,000 people inside restaurants were asked this question.
Got to be a big restaurant.
Okay, no. In restaurants.
Yeah.
Of all different price points and everything, too, in surveyed. Do you believe that restaurants should offer an adults-only dining experience that would include child-free sections of dining where kids are not, you can eat in sections where kids are not in?
Hello, smoking or non-smoking?
Yes, kids
or
and
no
not
kids?
kids.
Yeah.
Because over 68% of the people said they have had a meal in the past 3 months that has been ruined out in public, their experience, because of parents not policing their own children in public at a dining experience. So 75% believe restaurants should offer some sort of adults-only dining experience. I thought you'd say negative 25%. Connor, would I be wrong on that?
Yeah, I don't care about that at all. Like, I don't need it in adults only.
That's why I thought it. That's why I thought you'd come in there.
You couldn't ruin my day if you wanted to. Nobody.
I thought you because you and Christy, I've watched you parent, would be in support of this, would be okay with this.
I am pro 75% wanting a kids only, or having a kids section, non-kids section.
I am too. And I thought you would be against it.
Yeah, I'm against it.
He's
wow,
against
really?
It.
Yeah.
So the ones with the kids are for it.
Correct.
The ones without the kids
now,
are anti.
I thought you'd be against it.
Because how are we talking about meal being ruined? Like, what are they doing? Drawing on your seat with crowns? Like,
I have witnessed
the screaming kid.
How about this? In the past, how about this one? In the past month, at a mid-range dining place, a child reaching over into the booth over the shoulder because the parents are letting a kid stand in the booth and then reach over into the booth, touching you.
Yeah, that's easy. You just smack him real quick.
No, you can't smack.
I've
You
never
can't
had
smack.
that.
You
I've never
cannot
had that
smack
happen.
someone else's kid. You cannot smack someone else's
Scott,
kid.
I know you
and you
can't.
just think it's like, could you please tell your kid to first of all sit in the booth, because that's what you do. Your backside sits in the booth, and then they don't reach over and touch people that they don't know.
So now all of this.
And by the way, 3-4 times.
I don't recall ever having that issue.
I've seen it.
And if I did, I'm pretty sure the parent would say, "Okay, sit down," or and it wouldn't really be an issue. So it's kind of just a non-issue for me. I don't really think about it. Now, if you want to have certain days, like a day of the week or a couple days during the month where it's adults
So
only.
part of the article was time, like at 8 o'clock.
At 8
it's
o'clock,
only
it's
adults.
this,
Okay.
Now,
things
but
like
here's
that.
the thing. So it's a fascinating conversation because I'm not taking my kid to a nice place to begin with. Like, what am I Why would I take Coop to some?
See, we did
fancy steakhouse.
We
Steven
did,
Starr,
and
yeah.
we just had our child know what the expectation of behavior
but
is.
I
So
don't
there you
want-
go, problem solved.
But I
Yes,
don't want
but that's
to.
not in today.
My son is well behaved, but I don't want to. Like, I personally don't want to have to worry about, do you have the right crayon while I'm trying to eat my $50 steak or whatever, however expensive those things. I don't go to these places all that often. Like, if I want to do a family out, we'll go to Applebee's. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking Coop to some fancy schmancy place. So I would imagine if I'm at a fancy place, I would not want a little kid running around. But I don't see many little kids at fine dining experience.
Dude. I've been to some nice places in Philly recently. There's not like kids wandering around in there.
Mother's Day, I was at a fine steakhouse.
That's different.
Mother's Day's different.
Mother's Day's totally
and I saw
different.
parents refusing to police their children.
You know why? Because
at a fine steakhouse.
Because the mom doesn't want to that day. I don't blame her. Maybe the dad doesn't.
But what about the other people that have paid to go out to meals?
Deal with it. It's life.
No, it's not. No, Connor. There's
Yes,
there
John.
no, Connor. There were generations of parents that actually parented that said, "Sit your ass down."
Yeah, but that's not my job to talk to other people about that.
No,
Right.
your children. Your job is
I don't
your
have any.
child.
I'm going
is
to sit there and enjoy my
No,
meal. I don't
but
care
your
what's going on
Your
around me.
job is to say to your child when you go out in public, sit down.
Neil wants
We
to
don't
know,
run
have
around the
you been
room.
eating at Chuck E. Cheese?
No,
that's a great- that's a great-
Chuck E. Cheese. Mother's Day was an absolute zoo
Yeah,
of
but like,
behavior.
what are you
that's
talking about, Dave and Buster's
That's
here or what?
expected. Like
No.
Easter
I like Dave
Sunday
and Buster's.
brunch, there's a bunch of people out. I'm talking, like, I agree with you. On a Thursday night,
Yes.
I would, if I'm not going out with Cooper, it's just me and Christy, I would pick the adults only section. If I brought my kid out, I would go to
And
the
that's
kids
what the
section.
thing is that it's just offering about should there be adults only sections. That's the only thing. It's not that kids should not be allowed, but the people
They
who
split
want
the section up.
that they
like
split the
smoking and
section up.
non-smoking.
You sit there if you want to be in the run around the room section.
I really don't.
you can
I'm
do
with
that.
Connor. I don't see it as an
Is it-
issue.
and
I don't worry about what's going on around me. I worry about
Yeah, but
enjoying
you know what?
my
Like,
meal.
Here's the other thing. Like, my son, my son talks a lot. I love it. Right? Like, we're not really big screen.
He's
Oh,
an
really?
inquis-
Your kid
he's an-
talks?
Yeah.
He's an
Where'd he get that?
inquisitive kid.
Yeah, the kid talks a lot. He asks a million questions. And I know parents close to me that do stop.
No,
Like,
or they do this.
yeah.
Here.
I
Here,
want
use the
I want
phone.
the question. Like, you have a question? Like, let's go. We talked about death last night, just to let you guys know. I forgot.
Really?
I buried the lead. The death conversation came up yesterday. Finding Nemo, where did the mom go? Man, was that conversation not fun last night. But, if I'm at a nice restaurant or like a mid-range restaurant, if he's asking about like bathroom stuff, I feel bad for the person at the table next to me hearing it.
Well, you're not doing it he doesn't do it at the top of his lungs. Your kid knows how to behave. I've watched your kid. Your kid knows how to behave.
Yeah. But at restaurants, everybody's close together nowadays. There's not many restaurants don't really space people out these days. They want to pack it in.
I don't know, man. If you can't handle being around other people and their families and their kids and whatever that brings, eat at home.
I feel bad sometimes. That's what, like, I'm taking this from I'm the parent
Connor,
perspective.
how about teaching your kids to sit down at a table, because that's what you do. When you go out to a restaurant, you sit. You don't walk around the restaurant.
They're not my kids. Like, I'll take care of my stuff. And if you don't take care of yours, then I'll deal with it my way, because you're not going to ruin my day no matter what you do.
That should be the expectation, is that you teach your kids.
I could think that, but I also don't have to get upset if that doesn't meet my expectations.
Comment on YouTube, dogs are the bigger problem. I agree.
Oh, well, dogs and stuff is now people
look,
bringing their dogs everywhere.
You go to a brewery where it's like welcomed.
Oh, yeah, that's
one
different.
Thing. I was eating on Manayunk Main Street once, and there was a woman with a little dog, kind of like the size of Nikki Foles. And it was jumping up on the lap of strangers.
No.
And she was just laughing about it. And everyone else is like, ha ha ha. Can you take your dog? Like,
I wouldn't be about
here.
that.
I don't need your scruffy jumping on my lap.
I want a review. I want a review of all the emotional support animal that you're not ex-military or anything like that.
Somebody's wondering, do you hate clouds?
This is the thing.
Another great question.
As their
Coming up
kids run
next,
around.
Phillies have a 3-game series with the Dodgers. That begins tomorrow.
Yay.
How much will we make of it? We'll talk about that next. Also, I read an article this morning that I can't believe is written. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you could trade the entire tournament right on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you could trade every single match from the opening stage all the way to the final. And it's great because the market is always shifting. Yesterday, I told you France was the favorite. Well, guess what? Now it's España, Spain, the favorite, trading at 17% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade is going to pay you out $549 if they win soccer's biggest prize. Now, how is stuff changing that quickly? Well, that's because on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position, day to day, minute to minute. So for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and make sure you use code FANATIC. That's code FANATIC to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
The Phillies are in the middle of a stretch of playing some of the NL West's best. The Padres, the Dodgers, then another series with the Padres. What do they have? Fitness. 97.5, The Fanatic.
It is 9:48 here on Kincade, Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. Yeah, during the commercial break, we were talking about the death conversation. So last night, just to give you guys a little more information. So it's bedtime. And so I'm rocking Coop, and it's my night to read because, man, we read the same 6 freaking books over and over and over again. And
You've even started to understand the words.
Yeah. So I'm reading Construction Truck Friends. There's a bunch of them, right? And this one's on the farm. And he goes, Daddy, I have a question. And I'm thinking he's going to ask me about, like, the combine tractor or the one that plants the seeds and all that kind of stuff. Because we live in, like, a rural area. We see those trucks all the time. So I'm thinking he was going to ask, what happened to the mom in Finding Nemo? And admittedly, it was around that time of the night where certain things kick in.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
I was like, oh, my God. Well, and we had the conversation. And there was he was quiet. It was kind of sad seeing that happen. Like, he just shut down.
Think of Nemo's mom.
Yeah.
Sadder for her.
Yeah, she's definitely quiet. Spoiler alert. So, yeah, that was
Disney loved killing the moms.
That was a time. That was a night last night.
Hey, in Lion King, they got the dad.
Yeah, they did get the dad in Lion King.
Equal opportunity parent killers, those Disney folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you say we talk about something more fun?
They don't believe in two-parent households.
By the way, the Lion King, like, he didn't die on impact, right? He got trampled.
Right? It was a stampede.
He got stampede.
Yeah, so, like, he first off falls off a cliff.
And
well, cats always land on their
feet. And then he
feet.
gets stampeded.
That's a rough way to go. You land.
That was gruesome,
you fall, and you're like, I made it. I'm still alive. Nope. Here comes a stampede.
Of hyenas, right?
No, it was
wildebeest.
Was it wildebeest?
Yes.
Oh, it was a wildebeest. I would have said hyenas also. I thought it was the mean hyenas.
Yeah, the hyenas, then they got lunch after.
Oh, they got
That's
lunch.
what they got. All right, Phil's Dodgers. How much are you making of this series? I will not be in Monday after the series is over. Series win, series loss. What's your takeaway Monday morning, John Kincade?
Series win.
No, I'm saying, like, how? Like, are you doing like?
No, I think it's going on. I told you I believed before this 9-game stretch, the 3 Padres on each end with the Dodgers in the middle. I thought the Phillies were going to go 6-3. They're 3-0 right now. I think they're going to win another series. I think they're going to beat the Dodgers.
But are you making it like this was a big deal, or are you like, all right, series?
I thought this 9-game stretch
June.
was a big deal.
All right.
I thought it was very big considering the crap we saw last homestand.
Andrew?
I thought it was very big.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big deal. The Padres series certainly was, but I want to see the bats be a little bit more consistent. The pitching's going to be there, and it's been phenomenal this season. But to me, the bats have been really streaky. They've been opportunistic with how they've been able to do it. A little home run reliant, but you want to see how they measure up in a series like that.
Connor?
If they don't sweep, season's over.
Herm thinks the bats have been okay for the Phillies.
But no, this is a really
the pitching has been horrible.
This is going to be interesting because I've already seen people talking about how the Padres are this, that, and the other thing with runners in scoring position. We don't care about the 31-20 whatever record. Now they're a bad team because the Phillies beat them. No one's going to say that about the Dodgers. So I guess there's more to prove. I don't know.
I really now too want to make sure. I really want to be down there to watch Sanchez next week against the Padres. To see that too.
Oh yeah, man, that's a buy.
Because now he's
a ticket.
Now he's getting towards history. So this is incredible. So he's already got franchise history. Now he's heading towards top 5 all-time history.
I'll tell you, pitching matchup in this Dodgers series does not look terrible for the Phils.
It does not at all.
Let's go. This is a nice series.
Let's do it.
All right,
good club.
I don't have questions about the pitching.
Yes, exactly.
No. All right, this is where we're at in society, John. I almost need John to turn his microphone off.
We know we are.
Because you're going to jump all over this. So this morning when I went on to Firefox or Google Chrome, whichever one works out there, to log into my email, you know how when you first go on the internet,
I don't even know what Firefox is.
It shows you some stories. You know, there's some articles.
Okay.
Right.
For whatever reason, our algorithm here at work has Teen Vogue as one of the publications.
Well, that's because we have Silvana.
Okay. She's not a teenager.
I think Dutz is like 16,
little beyond
isn't it?
Dutz is about beyond
16.
it. And Patricia was here yesterday.
Okay.
So they may have been looking for stories and things like that.
Sure. So we have Teen Vogue in our algorithm here at 97.5 The Fanatic in One Ballot Plaza. And the headline, 318, which is ridiculous, 318 thought-provoking questions to ask a girl or anyone you want to have a conversation with of the opposite sex. We've reached that point in society where we don't know how to talk to people anymore.
Just figuring this one out.
That's why I knew you'd jump all over this.
They put your damn phones down.
They literally
and go up and talk to the girl across the room.
Dude, it is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. Step outside. It's a great big world out there.
By the way, one of the questions
is what?
Do you believe in fate or free will? Connor, next time you go to the bar and there's a girl sitting at the bar, because I know you're good. You do well, right?
Yeah, I do all right.
You do well in that.
Considering how I look, I do well.
You're not afraid to talk to people.
He'll pop his collar and ask that question.
Connor's charming. Connor is sweet. He's a nice person.
He can talk to you. All right, I want you to go up to this person, and here's another question for you. What song makes you cry? Hi, I'm Connor.
What?
Hey, what do you think happened to the mom in Finding Nemo? Connor Thomas, good to meet you.
Damn glad to meet you.
Like, so, A, it's ridiculous that we have an article, but we've reached that point because everybody wants to be in their phones and play video games all day. But the other thing is that we have questions like that. Who is asking that question?
That's why the teenage girls will tell you that the young women and young women in their 20s will tell you that they're having less relations. It's because guys are playing video games. We just had that story last week.
I know.
Is that women in their 20s saying they find that guys want less because they're too busy playing video games. And I would just say society is heading down the toilet. If you like your video game and that controller more than that, then we need help.
See, it's not just an AJ thing. Everyone's on social media too much.
We need help.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, give us something on the Davis on the text line. Feel the Davis difference, and then we'll get the final results on the poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avedon Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. What we got?
All right, so we have one final check-in here on the conversation with AJ and Jalen. Who's going to come out looking worse? We'll get the poll results on that. Mike from Turnersville says, I expect it'll be Hurts. The many analysts and squawkers who question Hurts' abilities as a QB will use the breakup as one of the big reasons. Eagles don't want to damage Hurts' potential trade value, but they have made this a Hurts prove-it year.
Yeah, I think that's where I leaned this morning, but the results say the audience says completely otherwise.
76.5% believe A.J. Brown will come out looking worse when we eventually get the story. And that's how I think it'll go, because I think there will be people from the front office and organization to try to make it out to be that way.
I don't think that
one guy's not here anymore, one guy still is.
I think the two writers that I think are going to drop the first two pieces, I don't see them being foils, though, that they're going to be manipulated like that, but we'll see.
We'll see. It'll drop next week. It'll happen after June 1st.
It will not.
And if it happens June 1st, it'll happen after 10 a.m.
It will not.
And so my day off will be worth it. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Andrew
Have a great
Pacheco,
weekend,
we appreciate you as always. We'll talk to you.